to the death. And this should surely be it. No Enigma for 30 seconds. The overgrowth comes out. They know the black hole was down anyway. Oh, sorry,
Oke, welcome back, guys. Baru bangun ya. Udah mulai aja, guys.
The cancellation in theory with the overgrowth. But I don't know where they're gonna get their damage.
Nampaknya ini bakal jadi kekalahan Boomboys yang pertama ya. Kemarin dia bagus banget, guys.
This is gonna be a second set, if not the eventual megas if they stick around.
Still a tier 2 tower bottom, so can't get the full set, but what they can do is prepare for Roche.
Indeed, 40 seconds away for that, and that's going to have Roche banner, which will be very hard to contest if you're the Boom Boys.
Kita lihat ya, Boom Boys
was not
kemarin
expecting
keberapa
a
ya?
stomp.
Especially not after the first 15-20
Posisi
minutes.
pertama dia,
Like,
guys.
okay, we're gonna get some
Udah menang
maybe
2
some close
kali ya.
mid-game, but
2-0 sama 2-1. Ini bakal kalah pertama, guys. Kemungkinan.
Oh, he actually gets Yules as well. Does get off the jaunt at the last moment, but now the Stampede to try to close the gap. Runs right inside of him. They get the kill. That was a very ambitious TP. Hopefully we have that one for the highlight reel.
Never know. Maybe he just misclicks 15 times in a row on TA. Trying to min-max his CS while you're...
I mean, that first orb, did you see where it went? He curved it back into himself. So he actually couldn't have gotten away.
Pengen sih nonton Liquid ya.
A lot of panic mode here.
Nanti kita nonton round 3-nya aja, guys.
Interesting to see Satanic pick up his namesake this game. It's not exactly an obvious choice, I would say.
It's not?
Next game.
They find Miero now. Forcing out the BKB TP.
Yeah, and they still have overgrowth, so whether he has that BKB actually not really that relevant.
Round 2-nya belum beres semua nggak sih?
Centaur now with the Ags can do a victory lap with Satanic in the enemy base. We'll see if they get to do that.
Who doesn't like running around in a cart attached to a half-man, half-horse?
Nanti kita nonton Spirit lagi, guys.
Yeah.
Spirit belum ada lawannya.
You can walk around in the cart in theory.
Oh, Rape here on Lifestealer.
Wowee!
And Coddle has Vlad's.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, I like the YOLO move.
Yeah, I mean, what?
Wow.
Do, right?
Nice, bikin.
Well, refresher.
On Lifestealer, yes.
On
Ironically, Lifestealer actually has the mana to use it because he has Ags. But yeah, this bottom tower is not.
Well, he also doesn't have a 400 mana cost spell.
That's
udah bikin rip lagi aja, anjay.
All right, there goes bot tower.
Power spike for Boom Boys.
How do you kill TA twice?
I think you kill everybody else, or try to.
Okay. And in the meantime, you hope Satanic doesn't fight back.
Yeah, maybe he'll go to farm when he sees a creep pop up. Roche banner placed. Satanic gets the Melbash onto Kiritich. Notice jumps in with the hoof stomp onto 1, into the roll, and they're going to get 2 kills off the back of that. Buyback comes out from the hoodwink. Kiritich forced out.
Apa itu drop ya?
Double Cyblade
Dropan apa dia beli, anjir?
Off the trap there.
They did get the Roche banner.
Game changer kah? Game changer kah?
Now onto the Enigma black hole.
Masuk ke itu nggak sih?
Have to do something now. There's the Melbash again. Kiritich already at half HP. Big roll in onto 2. They just delete both supports off the face of the map. And they just call it. There's the black hole we were waiting for. Instantly canceled. And that's going to do it for game 1.
BKB, GG udah.
Completely stomped.
GG.
That was super impressive. That was effectively textbook playing for a timing. They felt like the game was going in a good direction. They waited for the right moment when everything was coming together with their TA connecting to the fight. And they snowballed the game in 5 minutes.
That's right. Let's go to the panel to wrap up this game number 1.
Okay, so we'll do just that for you. It was a great game 1 here for the side of Vision. Obviously, Boom Boys having an idea for themselves that never had the chance to come out into fruition to show us what exactly they wanted to get for themselves. Because at the end of the day, when you pick the heroes that Vision do on the players that they have, Monkeys, it feels like there is no stopping them. They're very easily going to be able to get what they want in a game.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to the bans, all 7 bans were targeting Satanic, and he still has this standout performance. I mean, what can't this man do? Like, he farms, he wins his lane, he plays for his timing, he roams around and gets beyond godlike. I mean, and obviously, you know, I've talked about Satanic a lot, but you gotta note the other core players as well. With
I didn't notice them at all, actually.
You didn't notice?
No, I thought I literally saw Satanic doing everything here.
But I mean, you know, no one noticed. They're playing fantastically as well. So I don't want to, you know, only focus on Satanic, but he does. I mean, his standout performances are just it's phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised with the Boom Boys the way they played. Like usually they are the aggressors, they are really pushing the tempo, and seems like against Team Vision they are a little afraid how they're approaching it. It's not like if they were playing against any other team, even with this type of a draft, I think they would be playing, you know, in their own fashion with their own style. But seems like I could kind of sense the fear. This is the first time in this tournament so far that I'm kind of feeling that one team is really afraid, even though in theory these two teams should be on the same level.
Also, Boom Boys draft, when you look at it, the laning phase is where they should be dominating. They should be coming out of that with a somewhat substantial lead gunner to the point that, yeah, you have to put Vision on the back foot, but that didn't happen at all either. It was like, yeah, this TA just farms and the rest of the 4 players for Vision get to still just run around. There was nothing that Boom Boys really did to say, this is what we're good at and we're going to be able to do it again in a series like this.
Yeah, I think they picked the puck expecting it to go kind of even lane. They saved their last pick for offlane. Doesn't really win the offlane as hard as you want. They picked Lifesteal counter the Centaur. Doesn't really go as much as you want. And then this is kind of what Monkeys was saying. It's like, are you valuing the carries too much? Are you not worrying about this Centaur, which is in every single game, and no matter what happens, he just has some like highest net worth in the game at like 8-10 minutes when he hits his Helm Dom. I think there's too many things that Team Vision was able to accomplish in the early game. Even having, to me, like the Earth Spirit puck matchup, such a one-sided matchup for Earth Spirit in all facets of the game. I do think that sure they had really nice picks, like the Enigma was cool, the Lifesteal is cool, but I need maybe something different. I think for me, the Keep of the Light, I wasn't too big of a fan of. I know the hero's that strong, like, and they like it, Save likes it, but for me, it doesn't have the same like oomph.
Yes,
as some other picks.
It's not a pairing in the lane with like a Beastmaster where they're crushing the lane. This has been their bread and butter where they're kind of dominating the lane, killing the tower. Even though they killed the tower relatively early on in this draft, he also doesn't really have that hero to play with. It's not, like Puck is okay, but it's nothing too crazy.
Yeah, there's no Ember or, you know, anything like that.
Storm Spirit.
Yeah, Storm. We're really any spirit.
When I think of Coddle, it's like Puck is a really good combo. But I just think that with the rest of their draft, like with the Enigma, you don't have something to help the Puck. Because Puck, even with Coddle, is kind of low damage. You want an offlaner that is early. And I just think that they missed some of the marks, maybe focusing a bit too much on the early game.
Okay.
Just being like, okay, we're going to counterpick. We're going to do all this stuff for the early game. We're going to do these cheeky last picks. And maybe just pick something more just very generic, which I think is what they're good at. Is just generically strong laning heroes that work well together rather than counterpicks.
We've been talking so much about Satanic as well, right? Where there was this performance that he had on day number 1. It continues for this one as well. Whether it feels like he's being banned out, whether he's getting targeted in lane as well, Lacoste, there really isn't anything that he can't do for himself. And the numbers are there to back it up.
Yeah, I feel like every single time we talk about Team Vision, there's just going to be like Satanic this, Satanic that for a good reason, especially after his day 1 performance, because if you look at he played 6 games and he was beyond godlike in every single game, and he's continuing the trend. He has been beyond godlike in the game that he just played, so 7 games in a row, which probably going to be breaking some records on top of that. But his KDA at 17.5, averaging less than 3 deaths and having insane amount of assists, just like this type of a 4 Protect 1, but Gunnar, you did talk about it, like this is improved 4 Protect 1, where he's still getting involved in most of these early kills, and I think this is the way to play the carry right now.
Yeah, and it's, again, these stats, also another Beyond God, like 11-0 in the TA, so
yes.
Another hero to the pool, another Beyond God, like, we've seen a performance before of a player a couple years back who just got, like, what? Like 14 heroes, just played every single game, got a couple of rampages here and there, and Is this a new star carry rising again?
I like that we're already coining. I mean, he had obviously phenomenal performance for himself last TI, but yeah, to see him come in and the team, the shape that they're doing it right now, it does feel like there is another level to them. And of course, I like that aspect that you talked about, Lacoste, of there is this mental warfare to an essence of Vision having such a dominant year for themselves, despite going through so many off-lane changes, coming in with Notice, who's only done 4, 5, depending on how many events you want to look at it there for them. And it's just continuing on. Everyone feels that they have to play
Halo
a
guys.
different way against the monkeys. And now that you go for the targeting,
Welcome ya.
Satanic, and
Jangan
it
lupa guys
doesn't
di
work out,
subscribe
where
guys,
does a
di
different approach come
subscribe.
from here?
I mean, again, he just has such a wide hero pool.
Bantu
I
di
think
subscribe ya
targeting
guys.
Satanic is just not worth the
Jangan lupa
bans.
di like,
I mean, again,
subscribe juga
I
guys.
mean, he's gonna play something that he
Oh, so
stands
yeah,
out
let's just give him
on.
the lone druid. Let's give him the
Okay,
Yeah, so I think we actually
maybe
give him
we'll
that
take out the
SF.
lone druid SF. I can understand that, but 7 whole bans for him. I mean, you know, not protecting the puck with an Earth Spirit ban or something like that. You know, I think,
agree. It's a bit too much.
Yeah,
I feel like
sure.
they overdid it in that department. But also, I feel like Boom Boys, they need to play their own style of Dota. I think they also checked the results that did happen in this season, and they only managed to get 1 win. That was during the Dream League Season 28. They've been losing most of the matchups when they were playing against, and maybe even like the most recent loss in the EWC Finals, where they started strong, and then they kind of fell off. So I feel like this is just a bad matchup, and I'm just going to throw it out there. I think they're also, on top of that, giving them way too much respect.
Yeah, way too much, right? Where it's just like, we're not seeing this lane pressure that Boom Boys normally have for themselves. You're going all in on a player that at the end of the day is always going to find space for themselves. I mean, he was level 25 at minute 29. How many times do you see that happen for a carry player when it feels like you're coming up against a team that should be significantly more oppressive? And at the end of the day, they let them farm, and then what happens is later on in the game, once you move out of that early phase, out of the laning phase, this TA's farmed. Everyone on the side of Vision is farmed. They just group up together, and you have no response to it because you can't farm the way that they can.
If you remember previous TI, this is how this team also played a bit of a different roster as well.
Welcome yang
But
lagi
during the
nonton.
main stage,
Ada
the
siapa
games
aja ini?
were kind of even. They were like
Subscribe
scoreless
ya,
3 to
subscribe sama like
7,
guys.
and then suddenly one big team fight and
Donkey
everything
is
changed, and
wishing,
then Team
anjay.
Vision,
Subscribe,
they're just
bre.
winning the game off of that, and we did
Bantu
see
subscribe,
something similar in
bre.
this one as well.
Yeah, it was 21 minutes, I believe, that we saw a smoke
Bantu
happen. That
di
was that turning point where we
subrek.
it's a little bit of a stalemate, and maybe whoever is able to engage first can do it. And it was at the end of the day
Sekarang nonton
Vision
Dota
who
dulu ya.
were bringing down those numbers, smoking up, and being there early.
Yeah, it's just understanding of the
translate
timing
punya,
for
Cok.
them, making sure that they have, like, he had this Deso for a really long time, and the angle that they approach this fight is pretty obnoxious for Boom Boys to take the fight into. They're going to be able to manage to get like 2-3 kills out of it. At this point, he does have BKB on top of that. So at this point of the game, it was 1k gold lead, but they get 3 kills, they get a tower, they get a Tormentor, and suddenly the game completely opens for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, also how that fight started. They start on Centaur, the tankiest.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just, you know, there's just not very many angles for them to really, like, get the fight that they want to get, you know, because the Centaur is just going to be this burly body sitting in the front line, you know, pushing lanes out, and then you just have Satanic
Lu
with, you
ngerti
know,
Dota nggak, Tongki?
10,000 more net worth than the next player, and it's just, what do you do? What do you do?
I think it was hard in general to take fights. When I look at how potentially Boom Boys want to go in, it's very much like they want to be around
Yeah,
each other, right?
rame.
There isn't necessarily great positioning for them when it comes up against heroes that have ultimates with so much AoE, whether that's with the Dark Willow, the Tree, or even the Magnetize from Earthspread as well. So it's like,
Boom
great,
Boys
you go
kekalahan
on
pertama
some
ya guys ya.
hero, and even if it feels like a better target, there's still so much to counteract you all
Nggak
going
tahu
in
nih
on
bisa balik
one
nih.
target.
Yeah,
Tim Visionnya juga
said this
bagus tuh
before, but
anjir.
again, I think for me, this was not a Boom Boys performance. They have like such a specific playstyle when they succeed, and it was pretty obvious to me that they missed it. And it's like some of the
Liquid lawan
heroes,
Yandex
like
lagi
Keeper of the
berapa
Light is a hero that they have used to great success with their playstyle, but I just think that in the current meta, it just didn't look as strong as possible. Especially
Anjir,
you're giving
Liquid
up the
kalah,
tree,
Cok.
you're giving up the centaur, you're giving up these like super stable heroes, and you're picking a bit more of a, you know, a hero that can do really well, can not do really well, and I think that that's the type of draft that Team Vision's just gonna beat you in. So I kind of want this game 2 draft. Like usually we're
Anjir,
like,
Liquidnya
okay, you know,
kalah
run it
anjing.
back, pick pretty much the same heroes, just play better. But in the second game, I'm hoping that the draft is pretty much completely different, like 3 or 4 just different heroes. Maybe you can keep the puck if you protect it a bit better, or the hoodwink.
That was the
Siap,
only
siap.
one that
Thank
you're
you,
like,
Tonki.
maybe I can
Semangat
skip that
kerjanya.
The
one.
hoodwink, you know, the hoodwink.
Thank you, susuprek,
I
suprek.
mean, like picking Enigma into tree, it's so hard to play the game.
Oh,
Enigma.
welcome,
Even
welcome.
if you get Blink BKB, there's always that threat of overgrowth canceling the black hole, and you know, it's just. I mean, yeah, it's decent against TA and lane, but for the game,
It wasn't even decent in the lane this
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
'Cause, he was playing TA and he just got way too much out of it. Like 14 minutes in, we are seeing completely different stories where you have Lifestealer who's sitting at 100 CS compared to Templar Assassin who has 200 CS, and
Yeah.
he's just getting way too much out of it. Yeah, there's the massive difference between what they were able to do. Like it's very because Lifestealer he doesn't have a built-in kit to actually farm up early on, and they were killing quite a lot of Eidolons early on, which
And
means
speedy
that
kits.
Lifestealer he also got pushed out of the lane. He was the lowest net worth core for quite some time up until a point where he got the Radiance. But at that point, I think he got it at 16 minutes, which is not terrible considering how everything was going. And then
Boys,
they
patut
lost the tower. They
Vision
lost
ya.
that one big fight, and this is not a type of a game that Lifestealer wants
Siapa
to
yang
play.
bakal menang?
I know that we're focusing a lot, of course, on what's happening on stream A, but there is a lot of action happening over in the other streams as well. We seem to be one of the faster streams going on out of the four, and so I did want to give an update of what's happening over on stream B because it was the Liquid Yandex one, and I feel like a lot of people had, potentially Yandex as their 4-0 or their 4-1 team. I'm not sure where people might have placed Liquid when it comes into predictions, but it was Liquid who ended up taking the series against Yandex there, and it was a banger game number 3 as well. Do you remember what you put for your predictions, Lukas?
I did put Yandex. That's what
At your
I
4-0?
remember.
I
I believe
did not.
so.
I put Team
believe
Vision.
so.
Team Vision, let's go, brother. Team Vision.
Team Vision. I got Yandex 4-1.
Okay,
so it's good for the predictions.
I thought I had Yandex as my 4-0, and then I think something happened, and
Something happened.
I slipped, and Vision went in, and LGD went to my 4-1 team, and Yandex was...
LGD.
Yeah, don't ask me, bro. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well,
Thompson.
yeah,
Thompson effect. It happens. It happens to us all. Monkeys, what was your predictions?
I forgot to do my predictions.
No
unfortunately.
prediction.
I know. Shame on me.
Day 2 no going great for you here, brother.
no, I'm showing a big fat zero.
Yeah, I think it was Yandex, Vision, and Boom Boys might have been the most for predicted teams. Where did you guys put Liquid?
I put Liquid as
Dia
making it through, but I think in like the
sama.
3-2 slot area.
Okay. And where did you guys
LGD kalah
end up
keterlaluan.
putting Boom Boys?
I think I put him in.
They might have been my 4-1.
They were my 4-1.
4-1.
They're either
I believe
4-1 or
so, yeah.
3-2.
They were my 4-1 as well. So, I'm really glad you could contribute to this conversation.
Yeah,
you can say it.
No problem.
Yeah, do you know-
I'm here anytime.
You didn't have Gamer Legion as your 4-0 team?
I mean,
He probably would have done it. If he didn't forget, he would have done that.
No, you would have said, oh, they're Dark Horse. 4-1.
4-1.
4-1.
Yeah,
We don't want
much
to.
more
We don't.
reasonable.
We don't need to
I mean,
reach for
hey,
stars.
hey, they beat Extreme. They're on the right path. That's all I'm saying.
They are 1-1. They
Yeah.
can be 4-1.
There is another game that Nigma Galaxy did win against LGD.
They did. It's not looking good for my predictions there, is it? I think the Galaxy is a team
This
not
is
going
how
through.
they were topping the group during EWC with this kind of a strat, the healing strat that did because everybody was still kind of feeling it, whether it's gonna be good or bad. But Enigma Galaxy, I saw Carry Ember, I saw Nature's Prophet mid that was flex because they thought that Ember's gonna go to the mid lane, so they picked Viper to ruin him in the lane. They did the old school switcheroo, but still managed to scale because you have Ember in the safe lane. Not a traditional, but it has been done in the past, and also they had the offlane Necro, so they were kind of covering the departments where they can easily like even outscale, and they had Dazzle on top of that. And I'm seeing the draft on the screen as well. They're going for something very similar.
Yeah, they're looking towards going into their second game over on that stream, LGD Enigma Galaxy. The other one that was on their first series and is still on their first series, I believe that is stream D as well. Uligani and VG are still going for their one. So we
Ini
don't
TA-nya
actually
betul
know what
apik.
our third series are looking like. So Boom Boys, if you could just make this go to a game number 3, please, that would be
That'd be great.
fantastic. That's a
Midlane-nya
lot of
kurang
fun.
kuat.
And maybe they need to do a little bit of debate, a little
Midlane,
bit
Pak.
of switcheroo on. You think that's going mid, but it's not. I actually think more importantly, I would love to see Boom Boys go for something like the Pudge that we saw yesterday, where it felt so left field, but did so well in lanes, could move around the map a lot more. That fits that Boom Boy archetype. It doesn't have to be that hero specifically, but it goes into, I love seeing this team play that.
I think the hero that we've been seeing a lot is Largo. And Boom Boys is one of the teams I think is really good with Largo. I want to say shout out to Largo with like a support that has save. So we have a Largo Wyvern on one of the streams right now. I think Largo IO is a really strong combo. Largo Dazzle, if Dazzle's pickable, is pretty cool. You just have this guy who runs in, is tanky, and then has save, and I think that kind of team fight could help Boom Boys, because it gives you kind of a circle to fight around, and maybe that gives you enough sustain
berarti
or
offline
team
Enigma ya
fight
tadi
to
ya.
kind of fight Satanic when he has these peaks, because now your 5v5 is stronger than them. So even though this guy's really good at the game, he can't just beat numbers.
I think also being aware of the Earth Spirit, right? What it's been able to show for itself. Surprisingly, the win rate for it wasn't as high as I think a lot of people, including Sind and Sons fan, thought when the numbers came up. It wasn't as high as people were expecting there,
Pakai
but I
susah
think
sih.
it is just
Yeah, because
slowly...
everybody, even my grandma, plays this hero now.
I know, and I mean, her win rate on
Yes,
it is
of
clearly
course.
dragging it up, but I'm dragging it down,
Yes,
so...
exactly. But I'm a little surprised because during the TI qualifiers, because Team Vision was in the
PG,
qualifiers, they were kind of the
01
first
ya,
one
dapat
showing
1.
this Earth Spirit as a response to Puck that also has been popular in the tournaments prior to TI qualifiers, and it looked unstoppable. So a little surprised that maybe they didn't really give the respect that it deserves.
Or even just like take the Earth Spirit.
Yeah.
Like, sure, the Puck is good, but
I don't know.
Earth Spirit's pretty good too. I think the idea with the Puck was it's preventing more heroes than the Earth Spirit is in terms of counter picks. The Puck is like pre-countering an Invoker, it's pre-countering Storm, whereas Earth Spirit's a bit more neutral in a lot of lane matchups. Like you pick it versus an Ember, a Puck, or whatever, and it's like, oh, you know, all 50-50 and I'm an Earth Spirit. So maybe they're hoping to have this like advantage in the mid lane. Kind of, which is how they want to draft the team. Like they do want to have this. We win the lanes. We kind of counterpick you. We're playing better than you for the
Max
first 5-10 minutes.
OGTR.
But I think that sometimes it's better to just pick the power level, like strongest heroes rather than laning.
We've seen Earth Spirit struggle in lane, but still have massive impact later in the game. I mean, that is what happened yesterday in our 90-minute banger between Vision and Falcons as well. So there is definitely a lot to be said, Monkeys, of, you know what? You can sack the lane a
Kan dapat
little bit,
OG kali ya
especially with
abis
how
ini ya.
skilled a lot of our mid laners are here at TI.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of the Spirit heroes, like they can kind of struggle in lane like sometimes, but the amount of mobility that they have, you know, they can find these kills to, you know, get back into the game and, you know, really
Iya,
like
kan lumayan.
play their comeback, you know, with just, you know, high damage, high mobility, and, you know, just playing off map, you know, it's a very big threat, just, you know, having Spirit heroes
Berarti
on
yang
your
baru main
team.
baru
So
3 ya.
I definitely, even if Earth Spirit's win rate may not be the absolute best, I do think
Yeah, that's my fault, sorry.
the hero is
Let's
very,
go start
you know,
draft.
it doesn't necessarily
Kayak
rely
di
on
Ben
a good
gua
lane. It
dapet
just,
aja.
you know, you can figure
kurang
your
enak
way
sekarang.
into the game,
Susah.
you know, on a,
There's
on
four
a
other heroes to help you through that for sure when it comes to a team here. For game number 2 draft coming up on
Lina.
our screen, it is
Ya,
going to be
Lina
Boom
aja
Boys
sih.
with first pick for themselves. And so a little bit of an eyebrow raise there where it is
Mau
the
di mid
Puck
lane, mau di
taken out,
carry.
maybe hoping to be able
Sakit
to
bet
get the
anjir,
Earth
Lina.
Spirit for themselves if they still truly
But
believe that
if
it's not a
you're
matchup.
expecting for Earth Spirit, like,
And that's what I mean.
you're
Like,
like-
maybe they actually think Puck should have gone better in lane,
I don't
and
think
they
so.
misplayed it. I just
My best
Sorry, man.
bet would my fault. My best bet
My
is
bees.
it's an Invoker, an early Invoker that they're aiming for.
okay.
I think that's like the number one.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Right now they're gonna pick a hero Nat. No, okay, you know
Yang
Nat. What do you
TI
think they're gonna pick?
invoker kayak invoker gitu invoker.
No, I don't actually think that.
Coddle.
okay.
Unfortunately for me, I was not too big of a fan of this hero, but again, to give credit where it's due, this is one of the best.
BB
Team
masih
Light
tetap
teams, just using the
dengan
support
KOTL-nya
position.
ya.
They're probably the Coddle team, so I am happy that they are picking Keeper of the Light, but I want their draft to be different, right? Like I don't want it to just be a kind of a repeat. I need them to have. Maybe you pick the Ember with it, kind of like you were saying, the Ember, the Storm, even the Earth Spirit, one of these like stronger meta heroes than the Puck, I would say.
Well, I was right. Someone did
Earth
first pick
Spirit.
Earth Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was good for Team Vision to pick the Earth
Wah,
Spirit.
sedang snowball nih mainnya nih.
They only have one ban
Bawa
on their
Spirit.
side, so I want to see this Beastmaster. I think this is the broken combo between. I think this is the best pairing from the offlane that you can have. It just pretty much we are in a meta where everybody talks about you know, the safe laners, these range turrets that love to be paired up with the melee bodies, but this is the lane that can actually beat it, and I'm kind of expecting it. But this also leaves some of the other stuff open, potentially, you know, Slugger, maybe not the best pairing in terms of like between them, but in the game it's really good because you can crush again, and I want to see, as you guys also said, they want to see something different from the mid lane, something that can actually like try to punish this Earth Spirit and have a bit of a combo with the Keeper of the Light.
Name your top 3 lane counters in mid to Earth Spirit.
Well, Lena, she's gone. Viper,
That are still in the hero pool.
Viper, but you also don't want to have that hero. And third one, Necro.
Okay, you gave one viable option out of the 3.
I mean,
like
I
that.
will also say I believe
Yeah,
Boom
Necro
Boy is
masih
one of
lebih
the
oke sih.
teams that likes going for the minus armor strat, where they do have that Slardar plus like a Clinks or Slardar plus like a Drow or whatever it may be. So I think there definitely is an angle for them to go that route and just kind of go, we're just gonna kill you so fast, like we're not gonna run into damage
Bisa
issues, 'cause
instant kill
I
anjay
personally
kalau
believe that was a
Necro.
big problem for the last game.
Dan
Ooh,
terus
and Chai. You know how much I like this here.
I thought that was just the Falcons.
I love seeing Ench. I think it's a
PR
tempo
buat
hero, does a lot of
hitter-hitter ya,
damage, just fun to
lawan
watch,
Enchantress.
Sproink, what's not
Guys, for context, it's because he likes when his 5-inch goes through the gate with a creep and ganks
Yep.
his lane. That's the only reason why. This is a pure off-laner
Off-laner
bias.
mentality,
As a mid laner, we
right.
do not like Ench because they come to mid with the creep, they deny your water runes, they take your power on the 5-inch. No approval from me, especially pre-countering an Invoker, which is something I was looking towards for Boom Boys. But the one hero that is a bit weird with the Keeper of the Light, but because there's a beast now, you don't want to pick the beast as well, so it's kind of a preemptive. But Huskar, not good with Coddle, but great versus Earth Spirit.
Yeah, that's the one that I didn't mention, but the other options are still available. They did remove Ember Spirit, and
Let's go, Lacoste.
they also picked it into Enchantress. Like, you have a built-in Dispel, which is going to be nice. Earth Spirit, he builds into Spirit Vessel, but you also have lower cooldown with Keeper of the Light, so that's going to feel nice
Ya,
throughout the
Necro
whole
nya
game.
di-pick.
I mean, you have flexibility. I think Necro for Boom Boys can also be played from
All three
different
roles.
roles. Yeah.
It just depends. Right now, you probably pick a support, something versus the Enchantress.
Probably want a melee support, I would say. Oh, there it is, I'm dying.
Melee support right there. I think as well, leading into the next pick, Dawnbreaker, if the Necro ends up not being offlane, I think is pretty good versus the Enchantress. It's decent versus the Earth Spirit because Earth Spirit, before Octarine, it's hard for him to roll in and then get out of a Dawnbreaker roll, right? Like, he almost always just gets stunned through his BKB on a Dawnel, and that lets you turn on him, lets you just kill him at the start of the fight, and I just really like that interaction between the two heroes. And
I
good
like
with Coddle.
it is. I like Snapfire a lot. I think Snapfire kind of owns this game against Coddle, Necro, and Undying. You need to have some kind of a setup. They can also play this Earth Spirit as a position 4.
Daxir.
And they're keeping this open at least for now.
I mean, I do kind of like this look of the Darkseer for them. That was something that we noted
Anda yang
yesterday,
offline
was
kah?
the item
Apa
build and item
apa
progression for
malah
this
Necro
hero,
offline?
and how pivotal it was for them to almost
Apa
be
Necro
able
mid
to
dia?
get a game 1 win in their previous series.
It's a 16% winner on the hero, though.
Daxirnya
Only 1
offline.
in 5.
Well, like
Baru
Lacoste
offline
said,
sama dua
even my
support.
grandmother's playing.
God, is that why everyone's just trying to
Ooh,
play
Bounty
Darkseer?
again.
Bounty Hunter.
That's not a good ooh,
Bounty is just fun games in my opinion.
Enchantress carry.
I think we got different definitions of fun.
When I see these 4 heroes together, especially like in Dota client, when you see the draft, they just look so tiny. They don't look really as scary. Like, you have team fight. You have a lot of
Jangan support.
damage over time.
Najis
This is
banget
kind
sih,
of a
sakit banget
you're going to
kaki
be running
ujung-ujungnya
into
juga guys.
type of a draft. If you're off to a good start, you have the chase potential with the track, with the surge, Enchantress providing vision with the creep, Earth Spirit. You're never going to be able to run away against these heroes.
And there's a Pango, a very good
Panglir
stun hero,
offline.
kind of helps their team fight a
Berarti
lot on Boom
atau
Boys.
pangmit.
And also, I would say there's still a lot of flex open for Boom Boys. Necro and Pango can both go mid or off lane.
Butuh
Necro
instant
can
damage,
also go
Cok.
carry, as we talked about.
I'm seeing for Boom Boys a last pick Tiny. I think does a lot of fixing for their draft. It pairs well with Coddle in the mid game because the mana is actually good on a carry Tiny to just spam your spells in the team fight. The stuns, it gives them a good hero that is not like Iron Shell or like the wall from Darkseer. Like, the illusion is kind of irrelevant when it's a Tiny.
And they can stand the ground. They have quite a lot of sustain. I think if you have a draft that can park themselves against this type of a draft that wants to like assassin one guy and then keep running at you, they can just place a tombstone, plant the necro in front, have a rolling thunder. They have no abilities that go through debuff immunity. I kind of like the Tiny suggestion because he's that type of a carry that just stands his ground easily against this type of a lineup. And again, he can clear off the illusions. He does really well in the lane on top of that. So could work
Ini
out
belum
really
ada
well.
carry sih.
I just like it as a core pair with the
Nggak
Necro.
pick
It's
carry.
like my big thing, I think.
Yeah.
Necro thrives when you have a guy that can go in, because the way that I feel like the Necrophos' scale right now is get boots travel 2, and they TP into the
Kayaknya di
fight and
respect.
just like exist in the middle of the fight, and Tiny's the perfect like, I'll get in there, I'm gonna stun a guy,
Last
and then you can
spin,
TP on backline, I'll toss
draw
on you, or you
ranger.
TP on me, and we're just here together, like we're the boys in the fight, and
Draw Ranger, Sniper.
it just looks pretty solid to me. If not that,
Fence
again, the
jauhnya.
Sven suggestions. Sven has been looking good. I just
Yeah.
really like
We
these
like
like
Sven.
strength tanky heroes.
Mhm.
Just look really nice for Boom Boys.
Yeah, the only like maybe a little bit awkwardness of picking a melee, like having double melee against Darkseer in lane, and I mean it is Undying. Undying is incredibly impressive, but
It's also if you pick too strong of a lane, they're just gonna cut anyways.
yeah, also
So it's like, yeah, we can just pick some stupid like Shadow Fiend if it wasn't banned, some Drow, but at what point you need something for the game more so than the lane. Whenever I see Darkseer, I want something that's just gonna be consistent throughout the game because it's too strong to cut right now.
yeah, and also like if they did pick a range core, they just don't really have enough heroes to go in. I would feel so that like to your point, and the Tiny ban, that melee hero that goes in kind of is a bit burly, does
Ini.
damage in addition to it. That's probably what they're looking for on Boom Boys.
Core masih
I
ada apa
gotta
lagi
say,
ya
I
Mas di
like
core?
Boom Boy's draft a lot. I
Yeah.
feel like there is so much sustain. If this Keeper of the Light goes Holy Locket, you have Necrophos amplifying all that heal, Soul Rip on such a short cooldown, insane amount of heal, insane amount of
Tapi
damage.
harusnya ada yang offline
I
sih.
think
Messi.
Team Vision
Bangunnya
right
mid.
now, they are lacking some of the damage. Like usually this type of a draft with Darkseer, Earth Spirit, you always have the team fight, vacuum into Magnetize. It does feel well, but I also want to see like this last pick carry, how it's gonna tie together, because right
Atau bounty
now
hunter mid ini.
I'm feeling like Boom Boys, they're gonna cruise with this type of a draft.
Guys, you're missing the
Masih bisa bounty mid
Darkseer
juga soalnya.
rushes, Krellas, and then you get a 5-man vacuum
Yeah, he
with
Okay.
probably will.
Spirit Magnetize. That's it. That's all you need to do every
What
single
the
team
pick?
fight.
Team Vision has some pretty good bands.
Suspend.
Tiny Sven.
Wow.
I was thinking
Pasti
about
ngambilnya
this for
range
some
nggak sih
reason. I
carry-nya,
don't know.
cowok?
Those are
Ngapain
really
di
good
ban
picks
anjing?
for Boom Boys. Let's see if we can go down the list and think of another strength
Kalau
stunning
Tini di
hero
ban
for
masih
them
oke,
from the
Pak.
carry role.
Masih masuk
Dragon
akal buat.
Them?
Yeah, well.
Honestly, it used to be worse for Darkseer when the like effects from the dragon form worked on illusions, but now that they're pretty much just like they never work on illusions, he's definitely a better hero. I just don't know if that's like, to me, I think
Underlord?
you get to that point where the S tiers of that carry stun roll
Underlord
are out, and it's like, okay,
Carry.
we still have the Necro that can go there. Let's just pick a strength offlaner that's
Mending
more
apa
comfortable
Dota
than trying
ini?
to go to that, let's not get to the Dragonite tier of carries right now.
Whoa, sorry. I didn't know we were getting down there.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, if you saw Thompson's game on it, it didn't look that impressive.
Gotcha.
I've seen Dragonite mids go for
Whoa.
Dagon, so that's like that's where it is in the
Juggernaut.
mid lane. But another
Juggernaut.
cool, interesting carry hero.
Satanic's crazy. He plays
Cara
every
draft menang
what,
Vision
what,
sih.
what can you do?
Can't predict it. Can't ban him out. What can you do?
Now you have a hero that, again, that's why the Lifestealer ban made sense. They did pick Underlord, and another hero with the built-in BKB kind of save against Underlord. It can be very annoying. This is also the hero that Pango doesn't like to play against. He doesn't like to play into these range turrets who can kill him during the roll, and the Omni Slash can definitely kill him. So I want to see if maybe there's going to be some adjustments. We saw noticed in the previous game, instead of going for heart,
Ini
he
Boom
did
Boys
go for Lotus Orb
supportnya doang sih
immediately.
PR sih. Dimakanin
Something
Jagger doang
similar
anjing.
might
Tinggal di
happen.
blink ulti.
GPK might adjust his item build as well from the mid lane because this could be potentially difficult. But I don't know. I'm really feeling Boom Boys in this one. I feel like this type of a draft, when it comes together, they're going to be having quite a lot of issues because it's, first of all, Keeper of the Light. He has so many good pairings in this game. All three cores, they love to play with Coddle.
It's like 9 Day from the
Yes.
last game. I do like the Juggernaut pick for some reason. Whenever I've seen it recently, it's felt actually really strong, but it's one of those heroes that if you pick it in a bad game, it's terrible. But if you pick it when I feel like the good players pick it, it always just crushes. So it's going to have for me, I think it's going to be one of the heroes with a really high win rate if it ever gets picked at this event more. And I think it'll just crush this game. I think he's going to win.
I think I need you to explain that, but differently. I don't fully understand what you mean. You're like, if it's a bad game, it'll look terrible.
It has to be picked in very specific games.
Okay.
But if it gets those games, which I think this is one of them, I think that he has really nice core matchups. He scales into the Pango, he scales into the Underlord, the Necrophos. I like it in this game, and this is one of the games that, Satanic aside, I think that
Necronya
it's a good Juggernaut game, and he's going to own.
Okay, if we took the nameplates off, monkeys, right? You don't get to have your satanic bias.
I mean, in my opinion, I think Vision
Eh,
are
enggak, Necronya mid.
they're kind of playing this tempo
Offline-nya
game that
si
Boomboy typically
Underlord.
likes to play. So I think Vision are kind of bringing Boomboy's own strategy to them. And I think a lot of this game is going to come down to, the
Underlord
first
sama
15, 20
Anda ini.
minutes and how well Vision is able to, just keep the tempo up, get those
Kami-kami
trap
yang
kills,
baru pada
maybe
join,
find
jangan
some
lupa
picks here and
subscribe,
there.
guys.
And I mean, for
Don't
me,
forget to subscribe,
again,
guys.
I'm sorry, I'm just Vision has a new fan.
Monkeys, he can't decide exactly what he loves, whether it's Vision or it's just personally satanic there. But the 15 minutes is where we'll keep our eyes closed as we head on over to Sunspan and Syndrome.
Thank you. Yes, Boom Boys versus Vision game number 2 about to begin. The lineups, I mean, we're going to talk about Juggernaut all day. And in fact, I have something to show you, Cinder. Very important. Delete Earth Spirit from this lineup.
Okay.
That lineup looks like something from TI2.
Yeah.
Anda yang carry kan?
Actually,
That is like a super old school lineup.
Yep.
Tell me why it's good. The Juggernaut, to me, I would love to see this do well.
Eh,
Just in
smoke-nya udah
general.
mulai pecah.
When we have cast it, maybe it's just bad luck. It has looked complete trash.
it has a lot of merit to it in this game for a couple of reasons. First of all, it lanes quite well into Underlord. It's like the panel touched on most of these things, right? With the matchup into Underlord, being able to Omni-Slash Pango. He's a Nullifier buyer, which is good against Necrophos. He plays very high burst damage types of fights, which is a good solution to healing lineups. Is obviously either having healing reduction or someone who just overwhelmingly single target kills you. So you can't really get those AoE heals to come that much into effect. He can kill Tombstone if necessary as well during Blade Fury. So there's a lot of upsides. He uses Darkseer pretty well, in my opinion. He uses the Ion Shell. He gets massive benefits from being surged. There's a lot of things to like about that pick.
All right. Well, you listed off a lot of things. It sounds like he should win the game then.
I think in order for Vision to win this game, I think Juggernaut has to have a good game. So fortunately for them, Satanic has been looking really good this tournament so far.
The carry has to have a good game for them to win? That's crazy.
There are games where that's not necessary, actually. But I just don't think their lineup is going to function if Juggernaut isn't super farmed.
Fair
so
enough.
make sure that happens. The good news for him is that he's laning with Ducalis and Enchantress. This is a very strong player-hero combination for laning in particular. So I think they'll be getting by just fine down here. And they are playing into a spam lane. It's Caudal, Underlord. They're going to be spamming Chakra and Firestorm, but they have 2 heals themselves. That's another benefit to Juggernaut here, is his ability to sustain in lane against.
Yep, quite a bit of heals on both sides, more so on the Boom Boy side, though. As we see the first root of the game onto Ducalis, into the Firestorm. It looks like that's going to be the death of him. Pops a little bit extra HP coming his way. One more right click does do the job, though, as Save will get first blood on the Keeper of the Light.
It's quite far out of position there, no? That seemed a little bit crazy.
Satanic gets solo XP, though, so
it was by design.
GPK gets extremely low in the melee. How is this supposed to go, the Pango versus Earth Spirit? I assume this is Earth Spirit favored?
I don't know. I feel like my gut says this is pretty much a draw.
Really?
That could be wrong, but like both heroes essentially spell farm and don't necessarily interact that much beyond it. So I would think they kind of just...
Kataomi. We'll be able to take out a courier while this garbage is going on here. The pull is successful.
Love to see Bounty Hunter. We didn't really talk about
That's true.
That
Let's talk about him.
This hero is super fun to watch and to play, but doesn't see that much play in pro games, particularly because Bounty Hunter's obvious weakness is his laning phase is very poor. But you give him an Ion Shell, and all of a sudden the hero's actually quite useful. Kataomi might potentially die here with a Blood Grenade. The Ion Shell still has some time to go, but he will get to the protection of Kiritich with a potential heal. And they'll also get the load, so he'll be okay.
That's one of the old school combos that we used to see. It's funny that we don't see. It's still good, surely. I don't know why we don't see it more often.
Bounty Darkseer specifically, or
Yeah. Any Invis hero with Darkseer seems really good. Satanic, not be able to apply too much pressure. Miaro is super healthy right now.
They will, of course. This is an auto loss lane, I want to say, for Darkseer Bounty. I think at this level of play, you're just never winning here. Undying Necrophos is just a strong lane in general, but then you're also playing into Darkseer, who
Yeah, the Ion Shell bringing him quite low, gets the stun out of the Shadow Walk.
protects his tombs. This is like watching a different game.
This is awesome.
Nyampe dalam banget.
They are bullying them hard here. This is a full wave being lost by Darkseer in his tower.
Yeah,
Taomi, love this from him. He might die.
Taomi gets vacuumed at the last moment. The tombstone does
the
fall.
heal!
Gets the kill onto 9 class. 9 class now being pursued by the carry Necrophos Kiritich. The Death Pulse not going to be there.
That's still
just out of range, but damage was done.
It's a net win for Boom Boys, even though Undying dies. Because he boxed them out from a full wave of experience, and then the second wave that they finally got to connect with, they only got like half of it. They had to expend a lot of time and resources to deal with him. Really like that play.
And thoughts on the Underlord this game, other than the laning stage, which seems to be going swimmingly for him?
It's fine. This doesn't strike me as an incredible Underlord game. I think what they were looking for was they want some defensive tools and auras against Earth Spirit, which seemed to be a big problem for them in the previous game.
Dibawa balik lagi guys, scriptnya guys.
And also just one of Miero's favorites, so
Menang vision sih
hero
udah
player
kosong sih.
combination. But yeah, there's no inherently like really obvious, oh my god, Firestorm is incredible against this, or Pit of Malice is great against that, or it's going to be a global game where Fiendskate will really matter. I think it's just a feel-good pick for them. Not too much extra detail, really.
So what is the build on Juggernaut? Is it Battle Fury still? One of the few heroes, apparently, still going Battle Fury.
Ask yourself, what would Ame do?
This really is TI too.
And then you buy something else?
What did he buy at TI?
I don't remember.
That was one of the most sad games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
From a carry perspective. Because there was that neutral that literally countered on me.
Yeah.
They just deleted from the game.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what he bought. There was one item he didn't buy, which
Ags. He did not buy Ags.
He didn't buy Ags, and I think there was one more thing as well, now that you say that. So for the patch, it was a pretty uncharacteristic build he did, and there's a lot of what-ifs in that game, to be honest. But of course, given the stakes... Oh, hang on. No way, right?
Okay. Some trouble. Gets off the Death Pulse.
No
Pops the Fairy Fire as well. His save comes in at the last moment to help kill off 9 class.
No way indeed. Now they're both dead, maybe.
Respon cepat dari KTL ya.
Does. Reaper Scythe with the Illuminate. It's enough. Beautifully done from Boom Boys. They really needed a good start in this game after... Well, we can be atrocious.
Gamenya menang vision, ada Jagger dia.
Yeah.
Then again, it did start relatively fine for them in game number 1 as well. It was relatively close. 7-minute wisdom about to come to be as well. Kiritich going to force the issue, it seems.
This one's going to be extremely hard to protect for the Radiant, so they're going to try to go for the trade-off. Ducalis.
I mean, how many times have we seen Undying in this position?
Yeah. And this time around, he has Necrophos with him too, so they're just going to trade 1 for 1. I think that's pretty good for Vision.
Yeah, it is.
That you could have technically maybe lost both there with a slight adjustment of resources from the Dire.
Yes,
to answer your question, what does Doug
yes.
do? Yeah, he's going to go Battle Fury, and then there's definitely going to be a Nullifier in there somewhere against the Necrophos, you would imagine. Trying to think, or Disperser, I suppose.
Oh yeah,
was probably better, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially on that hero.
So if you're going to go Disperser eventually, do you go Diffusal early, or you just wait till you need it?
I think you wait till you need it. I'm expecting Battle Fury Manta. Manta is incredibly good this game. There's Solar Bind, there's Underlord Pits.
Yeah. Then maybe Ags Blink.
Yeah.
And then probably the Disperser.
I think in order, what I'm expecting is Battle Fury into Manta, into either
double
Blink
damage
or Ags, and then the other of those two, and then Disperser 5th. Yep. Let's see if he does that. And let's see if he gets there. This was a concern from the panel, was that Boom Boys might just run the game over.
Yeah. I mean, how much of a kill threat is Blade Fury anymore? This
Bakal
used to be
clear
the
cepet tuh.
absolute
Wah, pasti
classic.
udah hancur dia.
Ganking level 1 with Crystal Maiden, Juggernaut.
Yeah.
But it feels like this spell is not what it used to be at all.
It effectively...
It's kind of like a poor man's BKB now.
On level 1, it roughly has the same damage that it did 7 years ago, but the average hero has more health. That's why it feels weaker. If you compare health pools on any given Dota hero today to in 2015, you'll
Enchant
notice
pasti
that
bebas
there's just been,
banget, anjir.
heroes have more stats. You also start with more stats in your itemization in general, etc., etc. So, Fairy Fire exists, which
Tapi
obviously makes it a lot harder for
itu
Jugger to kill
nggak
level
bisa
1. Back
diambil
then,
sih
that wasn't an
necronya
item.
sih.
Yep. Blade Fury farming.
Yep.
Has a healing ward out.
He's getting his, in classic Satanic fashion, off to a great start. Gunnar said this was going to be a game that he was expecting Jugger to do great
Item
things.
jungle-nya udah pada
Well,
dapet.
he's off to setting himself up for just that at the very
Is
least.
Maelstrom ever a consideration instead of Battle
Dia
Fury on
bikin
this hero?
badan sih itu
Don't
si
think so. I
necronya.
think it's too slow. And also the mana regen is actually a really important component for Jugger, because you want to use Healing Ward. If you go Maelstrom and you jungle, you actually run into issues where you have to buy clarities. And that means, first of all, you're using gold on it, they're not available to teammates, and they're in finite supply, so you can't necessarily pull that off.
What about in turbo mode? Would you go Battle Fury?
I would trust your judgment on that. I think
You
if
could
there's
be a really good turbo player if you wanted
if there's a turbo tournament at any point, we should have you on the panel the entire tournament. We'll just defer to your opinion.
That's right. I mean, I feel like we should have tournaments with turbo mode.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
You're not the only one. There's another 5 people watching right now that would...
Oh, please. You really
Juga
think it's
bontinya
5?
farming
Come on.
dulu,
No,
dikasih
it's probably like
level.
7, actually. No, I would watch. I think it would be... I'm a big fan of tournaments where you try something else with the format, whether it's...
I would have never have known, considering our history.
And
That's
si
right, a different
hotelnya
format or a different
nge-recharge
game
terus tuh.
mode.
Ngurangin cooldown juga.
Imagine TI, but with ARDM.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Mau
stuff.
coba geng atas
That is
mereka.
ARDM can be pretty hype, to be
Yeah,
fair. As Sacred Relic online for Kiritich, so just a talisman away, about 1,000 for the full Radiance.
Langsung Radiance.
And for Satanic on that Juggernaut, just the Ring of Health away. So
Yep,
about
it's close.
600.
Oh, they're going to try to dive in, but
Yep.
low.
Got the BKBTP, as it were, with the Blade Fury.
It's the ultimate Nightfall hero. Weird he doesn't play much Jugger.
We have Fiend's Gate being applied here. Miro joins the party with the Fire Storm, but the damage being done to Kiritich. A big kill from no one with that Magnetize. He will be
Mati
traded.
si mahal,
And you can see
cowok.
all the rotations coming in from Boom Boys as they almost get another as 9 class survives.
Oh, he even TP'd to
GG's.
the tower mid instead of base, so if there was any damage over time on him, he would have died.
Satanic, not able to get the kill with the Blade Fury. Uses the Omni Slash, though, as GPK now here. Kills off the Healing Ward immediately, so Satanic maybe a bit annoyed there.
Sure it wasn't you who hit your head this morning?
What did I say?
You said he used the Omni Slash.
Oh, you're right. Oh, he must have just been out of mana then.
That's right. Be careful when you step in the bus later.
I'm just so excited to see Omni Slash.
Yeah. Well, you didn't see it.
When he gets Ags, I'll be saying he Omni Slashes as well.
Yep.
Because you can't tell.
That's fair.
Really.
You definitely can.
If you click on him and look at the spell.
One can tell.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Thank you, Syndra.
All right, it's time for Battle Fury. 12 minutes. Not bad. I'm genuinely really surprised that Vision have the top 3 networks here. I cannot believe Darkseer has overtaken Necrophos in this lane.
They being pursued, and the roll in from
Heal.
downtown. No one claims another. Has
Hotelnya
3
bakal jadi
charges on the
makanan
urn.
Up 2K here. They're just getting more out of the map, just being more efficient, but I can't like pinpoint why.
That's why
All
you're
3 of
sitting
them
where
on
you're
that.
sitting.
Yep, okay.
Kiritich, this would be another huge kill. Oh my god, look at that damage. Just gets amplified by the
Easy
Ghost
kill, yes.
Shroud.
Masih
And this is
tipis-tipis
before
semua.
the Radiance. This is like incredible timing for Vision.
And they don't have
Kill 'em
Vessel
off.
yet. It's going to get way easier soon. Is that on the way for no one here? Or...
I mean, when we originally looked at the timings for both the Radiance and Battlefield, they were essentially aligned. And
Spirit
now
aja
look
udah
at
mulai
how
tebel ya.
delayed this is going to
Pada
be
beli un
for the Radiance.
buat ngurangin life steal.
An interesting stat bot for the first time on the hero this tournament on the Battle Fury. It's probably also the first time the hero has been picked this tournament.
That's right. Technically true, though.
I don't know, maybe he got picked once yesterday. But then he would have bought Battle Fury, surely.
Nggak boleh kalah
They
vision.
might have just lost before he even got the
Apalagi
first
lawannya
item.
ada BH.
GG'd out at 10 minutes. Oh.
Nicholas, he's found in the enemy jungle.
A tough nut to crack, but... Oh, nice Wild Wing play.
Ripper keeps him safe for a bit longer. GPK is not going
Wild
to
Wing
roll
ada
for
skill.
it, so
Nggak mau
Ducalis.
buang ulti.
Space created.
Indeed. Notice has the helm looking for the pipe, it looks like.
9 class trying to steal. Not going to happen. Is he going to walk in just to be annoying? Oh! He's trying to bait him. Miero was paying attention. Tried to make him do all the hard work for him. But
9 class. All right, he finally concedes. Oh,
no. He's going to stay until he dies.
Oh boy, not another kill
Mati
on
lagi.
the Kiritich. Pops the Ghost Shroud, but enough magic damage again. My goodness. Cat to Omi, though, in the Flesh Golem, doing a good amount of work against Notice as the rest of the reinforcements arrive via the Fiend's Gate. Rolling Thunder now applying to no one as well. He is completely surrounded, so likely to be yet another kill
nggak
for
bisa
Boom
kemana-mana.
Boys. As the Radiance from the grave, it seems, is completed for Kiritich.
Cuan buat
Crucial
pangungnya.
that they have Fiend's Gate in this situation. 9 class forced 2 heroes down bottom just to get the
Ini
wisdom.
harus bikin keras banget sih.
But they are still
Andainya.
able to connect top after Necro's death, courtesy of Miero. Otherwise, this would have been a disaster and a really good death for Bounty Hunter to trade off to kill Necro and
bahaya,
what would have been
coy,
Undying at the
jaggernya,
opposite side of
coy.
the map. But Boom Boys do stabilize a little bit.
300 lagi, 200-an
But
lagi.
still, the Necro
Multi
dying
diasa.
for a third time already. Brutal.
Well, if you look at Satanic's quick buy, he is actually planning the Dispersive third.
Okay.
After Manta, don't mind it. Thought maybe it was still like we
Dapat
talked
banget ya
about gonna be
farmingnya
Ags
dari
first. He also hasn't
Juggernautnya,
committed,
guys.
to be fair.
Udah
Might just
megang
be an
Yasa
idea
dia.
pool.
And mid lane, no one. This is going to be the second Pit of Malice, maybe a third even, procking. Nice kill for Boom Boys.
Yeah, great job for them slowing him down significantly more than game 1. I think he only died the 1 time in the first game. Now it's up to 3. Still, though, elephant in the room is not really being addressed. They know in the back of their minds that this Juggernaut is getting insanely farmed. And their lineup, unfortunately, by design, doesn't really have any way of killing it. Like, that's the issue here. Satanic can just farm with confidence,
Antanya
knowing he
masih
can just
kurang
Blade Fury TP
1400.
out. There's not a single spin-piercing ability here that's going to stop his TP. And they don't have any instant silence or instant stuns. So many
Pegang Radeon.
upsides to this pick.
Necronya.
And starting in similar fashion to game 1, we're looking at an almost 2k deficit now for Kiritich in the
I mean,
head-to-head.
you say they don't have a
Banget ya
way
Juggernya
to
ya.
cancel the Blade Fury TP, but you don't want to go Basher on Pango a little bit earlier as a result?
I suppose that is a possible solution, but, well, they don't have it for now. And I think
Pangungnya
since
kaya
he has
sih.
already bought the point booster, you're definitely finishing Ags. I would like to see Basher third, though.
You go
Kurang
Axe this,
700.
at this point anyway.
Yeah, I do think Basher
Buat
third is
Aghanim.
good.
Although he might need Shard before that even.
Agak nimbi KID harusnya.
Feels like that's just a requirement every game to have a
Taksirnya
roll
udah punya pipe, Domi. Wah, pasukannya banyak nih guys.
Smoke now, coming out from Vision. No one leading the way. Oh no, Kiritich. Kataomi is shadowing him this time. The smoke pops, no one's gonna run right into them. Immediately Ghost Shroud is used as Satanic comes in with the Omni Slash, but it bounces the other side, but the roll-in is just in time for no one, so another death to the Necro's name as a big Rolling Thunder from GPK. Not a lot of damage follow-up quite yet, though, but the Pit of Malice being extremely annoying. There's the Illuminate into the
Double
swashbuckler.
kill,
GPK
langsung,
gets the kill
instant.
onto Ducalis and Notice, so a double kill for him, but again, it's at the cost
Titik
of
rekam.
the carry Necro.
Long-range Atos, yep.
To the pits, this is going to proc several times now.
Tangkep.
Ends up being a triple kill for
Killing spree.
GPK.
Ever so quietly, GPK is
Oh, malah dapat
racking up
triple kill.
Second in net
Dapat
worth.
triple
kills
kill.
now. 7-0-2. Ags complete. And yeah, they're definitely slowing down Necrophos in a big way, but Pango having a good time. And of course, this hero The matchup into Juggernaut, not the best, but if you're very
Dapat
farmed, you
increase.
still pose a kill threat to Jug. All this physical damage you do, not mitigated by Blade Fury. See GPK queuing up the dagger for now, not the basher. I would really like to see the bash when he's having this good of a game. I think this is the type of
Mantannya
game
harusnya
that
udah jadi
GPK
sih.
could really put his team on his back. And also worth mentioning that fight, like you said, it took them a while to get through Noticed and company. Noticed bought Pipe, not an item we see very much on the Darkseer, but obviously major upsides. Necrophos, Underlord, and Caudle, tons of AoE magic damage. Does absolutely nothing against the biggest threat in the game though, Pangolier.
Jaggernya ke
Couldn't
arah
care less about
dipusau,
a pipe.
mantannya udah jadi.
There's the Manta, so Satanic, again, off to, I mean, it's not the same as the TA, I suppose, but still top net worth in the game.
So he's queuing up. He also put Scotty in his quick buy. I mean, there is a chance he genuinely just follows this exact build order. Jug, one of the better carries to buy Scotty on as well, so understandable.
And Pit of Malice into the Atos, so triple root action. 9 class gets a little bit of help,
Nggak kena
but
coy.
not quick enough.
That Underlord Shard does a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, early pickup.
It's a very strong hero for killing when you go this exact build with
Kata Omi didn't realize he was inside the tombstone. It's going to force out the Blade Fury TP. Reaper Scythe, not enough.
Wah, masih selamat.
how much magic resist is it you get during spin? 80%? So Scythe, you probably need to be like below 15% health to actually die.
Most likely is noticed. Does get outside the outskirts of the pit, but it's just too much damage. So Boomboy's getting the kills right now. No doubt about that.
Decent back wall, but no
Dapat
follow-up.
Arcane.
And again, this is where it really matters that they've slowed down no one as much as they have. If he had a BKB there, he might have actually been
Bisa
interested in
ngabisin
taking a follow-up fight with some
Kan
backup.
kuat.
Now instead, this is going to be an easy Tormentor.
Yeah, with the
Or-
Undying already having Shard. See who this goes to. Could go to a core. And it will.
What
Wow.
a dream.
Wow.
Oh.
Now, the thing about this is, now Vision know his net worth's pretty bad, if they didn't already.
Not anymore,
Worth
though.
banget.
Does that matter?
Well, this is effectively an item he would have wanted to buy. So
Yeah.
this is a dream shard to get as carry. It's obviously not ideal that you're in the pool of heroes to get it, but that was the best case scenario. The Coddle one's good too. Like 2 Solar Binds and the Beggar Spirit
not
form's
the
nice,
same.
but this is just a different category. This is effectively a hero. I want to say this is a mandatory item on Necro, so
Yang
Yeah,
diserahin.
100%.
getting that for free is
Oh, ambil sama BH.
very, very nice. So now he has the added mobility. It also gives him counterplay against Jugger. With the Omni Slash, now you can jump to either a
Busal Blade
teammate
udah
or
jadi,
creep or an
cepet
enemy if you want to. Obviously, it comes with the caveat of not being silenced against Earth Spirit, but
He's going
Bangunnya
Lotus,
ke arah
though,
Besser.
for that exact purpose. Nine class. Is he going for Blink? Is that right? He is going Blink.
Link Force on the Bounty Hunter.
Oh. Very interesting.
I really like the Force Staff. I'm not completely sold on the Dagger. Trying to think. I think Boots of Bearing might still be a decent-ish pickup at least. Helps Ench out. It's obviously great for Jug. You already have the Tranquils.
Ntar kita harus ke orang doang.
I forgot about this
Necronya nggak
bounty
ke
innate. It
Yeah.
shows the big game hunter icons of the
namanya
top
tadi?
3 net worth of the enemy team.
nggak
Yeah.
di track.
Does it show it in order though?
I don't know.
The GPK finds himself Bambi.
This is a very slow kill, but
Yeah, save it here,
eventually...
though. Still not quite enough. Another shield crash expended
No,
to the eventual, death during TP. That would have been quite the
Bang,
scope.
tangannya ya.
Satanic runs right into Kataomi. Inside the tombstone he goes. Blade Fury should be able to clean that up relatively well. Puts on the healing ward in addition. Looks like the Undying is Omega dead, as they actually find a connection onto the Necro as well. So Kiritich, yet another death. Gets gifted the shard and dies. So that's more money in the pocket.
They have to be very, very careful with how they approach Jugger. I think this... maybe they weren't ready at all for Satanic to even be there. It looked like they were surprised, and Undying was just trying to cover Necrophos from farming an additional wave. But they were very much caught off guard there, and yeah. 2 kills for the Way of Vision without even having to use Omnislash, which is now up to level 3. I believe these were the first kills Satanic has been involved in the entire game. He's 1-0 and 1.
Yep, can't say I'm too surprised.
Looking for more. Omnislash could be a problem.
It will. Omnislash right on top of GPK, and he claims the kill. Satanic showing off that disperser. And his 9 class will get the track onto the Undying. And that's an insta-give situation there for Satanic. Double kill into Roche.
Getting some game 1 vibes here, where both teams are pretty close for the first 20 minutes. And then one key moment, Satanic joins something, wins in a big way, and takes an objective.
Oh, it's become 5 versus 5 all of a sudden. Great. Gracious me.
Yeah, unfortunately for Boom Boys, these 2 fights have kind of been their choice. I would say maybe the bottom one was a surprise, so maybe only this one, but Pango dove very deep into enemy territory. You gotta be cognizant about using your ulti next to your outpost as Pango into Jug. This is very, very dangerous. And he pays the price. Satanic now. As you mentioned, Disperser complete already on the way to his first ulti orb for his Eye of Skadi. And you know, you were saying after game 1, you miss 9 class playing these like Monkey Kings and Slarks.
This is in the same realm.
It's the same wheelhouse for this patch. I think this is about as classic 9 class as you're going to get this tournament, playing Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
Providing tons of vision, being super annoying, being just dying a handful of times, but the majority of these 6 deaths are really meaningful. It's either, you know, getting key information or protecting a teammate and just taking the bullet for them. That's how you want to play the Bounty Hunter.
Yep.
Be involved as much as possible, either in fights or in scouting. Obviously, we'll be able to get down some nice wards as well. That's always going to be something for Boom Boys to worry about, is they don't really feel confident that they are not being seen at all times. So this bounty could have been anywhere.
Lotus online for Kirt. This is a big, big item. If you can somehow reflect Omnislash, you can turn a fight.
However,
that's hard to do.
However, if you are being Omnislash, you're just dead.
Yeah.
You have no... Oh, well, you have Deathseeker as your only out. I think that is the most important thing, is he has to be very careful with holding that until the right moment. Because if he pre-Lotuses, and then... Or rather, if the Omnislash is going before he gets Lotus off, then he could go Shroud, but that's just going to get removed by the Disperser mid-Omni. Also, there's always going to be the enchant factor. We've seen that, I believe, only once, being part of a kill on the Necro.
Satanic getting a tier 2 by himself until the fortification comes out.
It's 420 CS.
Yeah, you're really enamored with his CS this series.
Yeah, well, he's...
Understandably so.
I mean, he's... It's just beating the rest, what can I say?
GPK, he's going to show off that newly picked up Basher, so not as safe for Satanic now. He gets off the Omnislash. It's a little bit too late. The Omnislash is doing work, though, but they have the connection. They have the surround tactics that's Aegis down. You can see the reinforcements for Vision quite a ways away. Rolling Thunder, nice timing from GPK. Reaper Scythe, it's enough. Down goes Satanic as no one shows up eventually. Gets off a big Magnetize, but he is taking the brunt of the damage now, as he burns to the ground from Miero and company. A couple of huge kills for Boom Boys.
I think Satanic didn't know there was a Basher in play. That's why he played this way. He was so far away from his team, but he had Aegis, so he was like, worst case scenario, I can spin TP out on my second life. But GPK comes in, bashes him immediately, and all of a sudden, I mean, not a single teammate in sight. They started running over there. He kept the enemy team busy for like 20 seconds, and they still couldn't make it. So a huge find. Biggest kill of the game by far here for Boom Boys. The biggest reward, of course, will be that of Kiritich, who ends the kill streak It was a killing spree only, I suppose, but it's worth quite a lot when Satanic's net worth is this high, and as a result, you'll almost have a heart.
Oh,
Masih ada sentry, masih
outside of
kelihatan.
vision here. For vision.
Nggak dilanjut.
Is that a way of saying he's getting kicked after the tournament?
Pizza party. Kataomi finally gets his first item of the game, really, in the Blink Dagger. As Ducalis, Hurricane Pike is next on the menu for him, so his right clicks will start to be something to fear for Boom Boys.
This Undying Blink is important, though. It's another counter to Omni Slash.
True, the Tombstone.
Just Blink Tomb save whoever gets caught out. It is one of the big reasons that Omni is picked, Jugger is picked as little as he is that
Andainya
it's
harus
just a
ngejar
lot of
level dulu
heroes
sih.
that have some sort of tool for either repositioning or saving that didn't necessarily used to have it years ago. Undying is one of those examples. Years ago, Necrophos
500
didn't have
lagi
Deathseeker.
Jaggernya.
So even with that information, there's obviously still picking the hero here, but he has definitely been weakened significantly by overall just higher mobility on heroes and more saves being added to the game.
Shard coming up soon, though, for 9 class. Being able to put the Juggernaut in Shadow Walk sounds pretty dirty as well.
Kan sini Bontinya nggak bawain
There's no
ward
sentries,
ya,
you can
padahal
just
ngeward di
straight
ward.
up get that bash into Omni Slash and
Tadinya udah jadi.
kill most of the heroes.
Bit of a pseudo save with Dagger to be able to blink Shadow Walk his teammates with the 15 talent.
Oh yeah, the damage reduction.
Minus 30%. He's 14 for now, but won't be long. It's gonna line up pretty well with picking up the shard, I think. They're on the warpath here. Seems like Boom Boys have a pretty good read on the situation overall, though. Nobody's showing bottom, nobody's showing mid from vision, so process of elimination, recognizing that this move is likely happening, especially because there's no objective on the map. There's no Tormentor and no Roche.
Oh. Save, spotted, roll's not gonna hit as a big Fiend's Gate comes out, and we'll see if they try to back up for P-Vision. No, on top of the BKB, the Rolling Thunder right on top of the Bounty Hunter. As 9 class is certainly dead here. They're actually going to use the Reaper Scythe from Kiritich to claim it.
Buat
And a bigger
si
kill
itu
onto
ya,
no one,
sayang
caught in
banget.
no man's land. Double kill for Kiritich. Great start to this fight for Boom Boys. I say start, it's also the end.
Sayang banget sih buat
The most impressive thing about that
Bounty
was,
Hunter doang.
yeah, the most important thing rather was reading the fact that this move was coming in the first place. The reason they're so well prepared and have such good spellcasting in that moment is that they knew the fight was coming before it even began.
Is it weird to say that I forgot that there's a Darkseer in this game?
Yeah.
It is weird to say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's less weird from you than from most.
But you're the one that hit your head today.
Yeah.
Really hard, by the way. I just have so much empathy for you that I feel your pain, and thus I'm the one with brain damage now.
Now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, this is a recent development.
Tormentor up and running again.
Second one for Boom Boys. Last one went to the Necrophos. Let's see who's the lucky recipient this time.
It's not luck.
There's only one.
It will be Kotl, I proceed. Yep, there we go.
He was the only one who didn't have a shard, so only one person in the running. Save working on a, well, I say working on, he hasn't bought a component yet, but considering Hex, obviously one of the best tools against the Jugger. Keeper of the Light also gets cast range bonus in Spirit form.
I miss Ignis Fatus, the moving version.
The one that spawned little summons on the waves.
I don't even remember what he did anymore. I just remember it was a moving, it was almost like a Wheatley.
So you miss a spell, but you don't remember what it did.
Yeah, it was just funny.
So you remember you miss the time.
I miss the feeling, because you remember I'm empath. Miss the feeling.
That's what they all say about you. Shannon's a really empathetic guy, without the M.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
I'm empathetic.
It's like a great online service.
All right, couple of big items.
Oh, they found Ducalis.
Yeah, Nullifier from GPK. He's dealing a lot, though. Ducalis is fine. As far as I can tell.
Falling
Omni
Thunder again.
Flash onto the T-Ping GPK. Oh my
Ooh.
God, he dies. His body ends up in the base
Nyaris.
though. My goodness, that's as close as it gets.
Now, in terms of lore, should Juggernaut end up in the fountain then?
Yeah, he should.
He really should, shouldn't he?
I mean, I think back in the day that actually did happen though, right?
It might. Yeah.
Like if it's mid animation on.
Yeah. Yeah, if you were mid-animation on
Oh, and
casting it, I
semi
think, then you could
damage tuh.
cast it and then
Bunga-bunga
be
tuh.
teleported to the fountain when the hero went there. But I think if you were in the middle of slashing, I don't know if you would ever go. Don't know. Does take you back to the good old life breaks of Huskar crossing the entire map on TP.
God, that was great.
It's funny.
That populated. That was like so many episodes of Fails of the Week because Atos finds the target onto no one, has to pop the BKB.
KB.
Immediate reset.
Big item down now for Vision. Satanic will be able to get the tier 2 top, it seems. Although another fortification.
Wait, does he have another item coming out? He has MKB as well now?
He's a big boy.
Alright. He's trying to beat his last hits from the TA game. Not quite there.
What's his talent?
The 25?
Yeah, which one does he choose?
I think he's taking the extra second of Omni Slash so he can kill Pango even better, I would think.
It wouldn't have made a difference there.
No, he didn't need it there, but Pango, I mean...
Even like if Pango lives there, still wouldn't have made a difference, right?
Yeah, that's true. For TPing, it doesn't matter, but...
Dekalis, can they kill him this time? Atos finds its mark.
And kan bisa ketangkap.
This time, they should
Gak ada yang
have
bisa
the
ngehit.
damage. Reaper Scythe ensures it. I say that.
Masih belum
Not
mati.
able to get the stack. Not that it matters that much. Notice he still wants to fight apparently. Coming in with the
Harus
surge.
aganin dulu.
Looking for the vacuum wall. Only onto one, but that's a Radiance illusion. As the Rolling Thunder
Nekonya
now
aganin.
finds a different target in the form of the Bounty Hunter. So 2 supports dead for Vision.
And the best news here for Boom Boys is Roche is actually about to spawn and there's no wall. But can they really kill Roche? Well, they have Tombstone and Pango, but it's a relatively slow Roshing lineup. That's one of the downsides to playing Necro Carry. One of the hero's biggest weaknesses is his inability to push and take objectives quite well. Great fighter, though. Working on his next item, which will be the... looks to be Wind Waker or Ags.
I mean, considering that there's already a disperser, the Yules is kind of interesting.
Oof, quick
Close
reaction.
call there.
Kataomi, fast on the blink. I get the vision onto Underlord with the Essence Distiller, but not pursuing that. Nice rune here for no one, though.
Juicy one.
I'm not sure if we mentioned Krellis Cruzier on Darkseer earlier, but obviously this is an incredible pickup this game. When you're in the Ghost form, you reduce healing by an insane amount, or health restoration, I should say, which is obviously awesome against Necrophos. Is it both health and health restoration? It's only health restoration. So not healing, right? So I think Caudle's heal and Undying's heal are full.
It's gone back and forth with how that mechanic works, so I don't.
Berat web gamenya percaya sama
Yeah,
gua.
maybe we're back to where I feel like it changes every 2 months.
We're just getting old.
Yep.
Masih terlalu tipis nih Krokus.
I would have remembered earlier today, but I hit my head.
Yeah, I feel that. Being an E-pathetic myself.
So speaking of 25 on Jug, we are slowly approaching it on a couple of other heroes as well. Necrophos is 24, Pango 23. I guess the biggest talent in this game that is realistically coming up sometime soon, I would say, is probably...
Tinggal Octaring buat
I
ganti
guess
sepatu.
the Necro, I don't know, the Death Pulse cooldown, how much that really matters. There's no, like, wow, 25 talent coming up here. So maybe not the biggest of deals. Let's see what Jug picks. Yeah, he does take the Omni Slash Duration rather than the Blade Dance Lifesteal. It's also, there's not likely going to be many situations in this game where Satanic is just fighting head-to-head with another carry.
Is Ags really that bad?
I don't think so.
I feel like I never see it picked up early. It's like you're going to get 6 slot, even the blink. I mean, obviously the Swift Blink's insanely good on Jug, but
Yeah.
Flash just feels very good to have on this hero.
One of the
Mid
main
bilang siya.
upsides of Swift Slash
Ano
is your
bilang
ability
konti,
to connect. Right? It's the fact that you can use it to get on top of someone. But arguably, you could say Swift Blink serves a similar purpose, but gives you better stats offensively. I still do think the
Andainya
Axe
dulu
on
sih
Jug is
yang
pretty
harus
good.
I mean, he
tebel.
knows this game's going 50 minutes, so he'll have time to consume one anyway.
Yeah, he'll get there.
This is a dead even game at
Ini
38.
fight to Rosan sih.
Yeah, the gold distribution among the heroes is quite different
Yang menang war
for
masuk
the two
Rosan.
teams, though. There's a really big carry on the Radiant, but their mid is quite far behind that of the Pango. And then it's a very rich Caudle.
Seems to always be the case.
Save has Hex and Lotus Orb. And the Keeper of the Light with sub-100
Semuanya
CS
ya
even.
Octarin
It's
nih.
not because he's been
Octarin
taking
Lotus OP.
all that many waves that he's this rich. Just stayed out of harm's way. He's 4-1 and 14.
What if he got slower the more items you have? Because the horse gets weighed down by the items?
Right, but the heroes don't.
No.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, I think.
Fantasy world.
Yeah. I think if the horse slows down when you put weight on it, you shouldn't have a horse. I think there's no point. Maybe Caudle should just get off his horse and just walk around like an old, decrepit man.
Should have had him as a persona, getting that automaton Caudle.
Automaton Caudle.
You would only make the horse automaton, though.
He's exactly the same, but he's riding a robot.
He literally does
horse.
not change, yeah.
Scouting out the Roche, he's going to be moving soon. And
All right.
smoke on
Rosannya udah
smoke
mulai
Axe.
di
Here we go.
Axe picked up on no one is a big deal. He could kick this
Oh, yeah.
Necrophos well out of position.
They
Speaking
find
of, though,
themselves a bounty hunter, Kiritich, using that Reaper sight.
Sayang
So
banget itu
started out
ultinya,
with a
anjing.
kill.
good sight.
Oh, but the back wall onto 2 heroes. The Omni Slash can be avoided a little bit thanks to the Yules. As Miero taking a ton of damage. Finally, Omni Slash ends. Has to Blade Fury out of the Pit of Malice as the Rolling Thunder from GPK comes through. Getting the Nullifier, but the BKB comes out now onto the Darkseer. Trying to get outside the outskirts of these pits. These several pits, in fact, from Miero. They do so eventually.
Ada
but now
Rosannya.
no one
Ada
completely
Rosannya.
surrounded, killed off.
Awas dilempar.
A lot expended from both sides.
That's a very crucial Yules from Yarrow to have there. Otherwise, the Underlord
Buat
is
Pangonya
going to be taken down and perhaps...
I mean, the funny thing is, he might still need to go Nullifier. That's the downside of... Like,
Yeah.
just having a constant dispel is very
Nullifier-nya
important.
sih.
Right?
It
Ganggu
doesn't
banget.
solve the problem against an Underlord with BKB Yules, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
All right, so after all of that, Boom Boys win the fight and they get Roche.
I think it might have... I was expecting it to come back to bite them, that they repert the Bounty Hunter, because he was going to buy back and enter that fight, so it was a 5v5 with no Necro ulti, but they still just had clearly superior positioning. And the biggest of deals is, well, when you use Omni Slash and you don't kill anybody, Juggernaut has some clear issues late into the game with actually sticking on targets and finishing them off. Swift Blink will maybe help on that, but again,
I think the
perhaps
difference
Axe,
in these fights, the difference in these fights for me are the offlaners. The entire fight for Vision is trying to get out of these pits, and there's like 10 of them, it feels like, and then Darkseer gets a vac, like the vac wall's not doing anything.
Yeah.
The Surge is nice to try to get out of the pits eventually, but with Atos and all that, very annoying to deal with. Speaking of which, the Dallas attempting to go through the gate. Tempting again.
Keeps getting rooted.
Reaper Scythe for the road.
How many stacks is
Masuk
that?
lagi titik tuh.
5. Scythe. Alright.
They're not, I feel like they're not that good anymore.
No.
Sad. I love the perma-scaling spells. This is just going to be gold for Boom Boys.
Bag of money.
Depannya udah semua ya.
3k turns to 5. And well, now we can actually start talking about a really impactful 25 talent, because I think the
Butterfly
Underlord
harusnya
one
BF yang
is going to
dikeluarin.
be a much bigger issue for the Radiant than the other talents are. The plus 0.4 seconds of Pit of Malice route doesn't sound like much, but
BF
when you
cuma
consider
kepake
they're
buat
happening
farming doang.
perpetually, and that he now has an Octarine core.
Yeah.
There's going to be pits everywhere.
Mati.
Finally, a track kill. This feels like it's been forever. When was their last kill?
That's a good point.
The last time they killed anybody was that? Yeah, they killed GPK at 30.
The Omni Slash?
32 minutes. That's the last kill. It's been 10 minutes coming. Now finally, 9-class will get an Aether Lens for his troubles.
Finally, Satanic is going Aghanim Scepter. I mean, is there a point where you get rid of Battle Fury? Like, how much does the cleave matter? You have 3 melee.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think...
Sama
there's
kah,
better
manis?
Is there a world where you swap it out in the very end for Nullifier? So you have both? Or Abyssal, maybe?
Yeah.
Speaking of Abyssal, GPK's Abyssal just got killed on the courier. That's unfortunate. 9-class walked into it by complete chance, it looked like.
GPK the
Jaggernya harus nge-beat pakai itu sih. Pakai Aghanim sih.
Not going to be hitting many building. I mean, that's kind of the downside of this lineup for Boom Boys. The building hitting is atrocious.
Yeah, it's super slow.
Jadi sini landingnya ya
And it's actually
harusnya
something that
Darkseid
they
lebih
can
enak.
never really overcome with
Pushing.
their lineup. It's not like, oh, it's just a matter of time, then this
Pasang
hero actually gets kind of good at
itunya,
sieging. It's just
dipasangin
not.
ke
That's
creep.
not true. Tier 5 Deso on anyone.
Yeah. All right.
And then Meteor Hammer. Or not Meteor Hammer, the Fallen Sky, rather.
4 Fallen Skies.
Queen's Gate, goodbye 9-class. 90 seconds.
Datang buat nyampai ya.
That's why they call him 90-class.
Okay.
Gonna be gone forever. Are they gonna push with this? Well, are they gonna push in general is the bigger question.
Are they capable of pushing it?
That is a genuine concern here, is how convincingly do you need to win a fight before you're even thinking about
Ayo
it?
1 menit lagi push
Like they know
tower
it's a
atas.
5v4 for
Best
70
turret.
seconds and they're
Best
still not
tower.
even trying to
Best
hit high
turret.
ground.
Yep.
I think if
Because
this was...
this is going 60 minutes. They need those tier 5s. What else is good for pushing? Oh, the Necro book, the Book of the Dead.
It's not that good.
So that I know, but anything that can do anything against buildings is what we're looking for here. That's 3 items, tier 5s. What else? The Illusion, the Rift Shadow, very strong.
That's
course.
right. When your
Oh,
hero
itu
can't do
hitin dong
damage to
towernya.
towers, your illusion
right.
is gonna help a lot.
Di TB-in gitu.
When you look at the shots of Kiritich and they
Nggak
look like
habisin.
they should deal a lot of damage, but
No, they're just colorful. Look at how big that pit is.
Kasih mana dulu tuh panggungnya tuh.
Completely ridiculous.
Habis tuh.
now it roots for 2.2 seconds
I mean, would you say that
every 3.6 seconds.
Would you say that Underlord is good against Darkseer? Because that's what it feels like to me
Yeah, I think so.
in the state of this type of game.
The thing is, though, Underlord is good against almost every offlaner at this point, except maybe Timbersaw, right? Because most offlaners, archetypically, that are played right now are either strength or at least high HP. So Firestorm will be good, and a lot of them are also built around mobility, such as Darkseer, so then Pit of Malice is good. And Underlord, if it comes down to an aura race, which it sometimes does, then Underlord just wins that race because he has the same auras as you and Atrophy aura. But obviously not the case in this one.
Oh,
Roche,
temannya jadi ke
we won't
bawah
know for
agak
another 2.5
siapnya enak
minutes
banget
as
ya.
Boom Boys starting to separate a bit in terms of net worth. Satanic obviously will have to save for buyback.
Yeah.
But won't be buying this Ags anytime soon.
Found the perfect neutral item for himself at tier 4. The Flare's Bota is cool on Jug. It's very easy to use. You can use it mid Omni Slash as well, in case you forgot to use it prior.
Oh, wow. Is he not going Ags? He just switched it to BKB. So the Battle Fury is going to be deleted, it seems, for the BKB.
Double damage.
I don't know. It's awkward. I trust the kid, though. He seems pretty good.
He's okay.
It's like he knows what he's doing. Otherwise, Puppy will tell him after the
Jaggernya
game.
sih kaya banget sih.
Oh, yeah. Knife in hand.
Jaggernya kalau
Machete.
beser enak,
Yep.
sumpah.
It's a type of knife.
A really big knife.
Yeah. Still a knife, though.
Actually, it could be a short sword, actually. I don't think it's a knife.
Yeah.
Smiling
Sword,
apa?
just a big knife.
Why don't you Google that?
Smiling lagi apa ling?
All right. Well, with that logic, then I'm sure we can apply that to many other things.
Okay, shortest pause of the tournament. We
BF
appreciate
jual
that.
sih
Yep,
ganti
33
beser
just
itu.
had to come by just to make sure the lights are okay. Finally got you with that, huh?
Oh, just the image of that happening. He just walks into the player booth. He's like, "You guys okay with the light in here?" And then just leaves. Oh man. Full 5-band smoke for the boys of boominess.
The Boomer Boy.
Yeah, that's not yet. Or well, they never will be.
They're not going to live that long?
Wrong generation.
Oh, the literal boomers.
Yeah.
Clear cepet.
PPK shows himself mid. Wallace daring them to go on top. He has a nice Lotus equipped as well.
Do you think in 10 years
Tunggu
the
rosan
kids will be
selanjutnya
saying,
sih kayaknya
"Okay,
ini Wara.
Zoomer"?
That's a good question. Yeah, probably.
And what's the next gen? Is it Gen Beta? Which one are we on now?
I don't care.
Okay.
Save buyback
This last
dulu.
generation is stupider than the previous, which is the first time in
That's what
history.
every generation says, though.
Yeah, but this one's proven via studies
Okay.
that I've definitely vetted.
Mm-hmm.
218
Gifted
nih.
too many things, Cinderin.
Right.
We have to teach our parents and our kids how to use email. Our generation.
I heard a good insult the other day. If you think someone is stupid, you tell them they put stamps on their email. So that one was pretty good.
That's not bad, actually. I won't be using it.
No. Because the people you interact with don't know what stamps are.
True. BKB picked up for Satanic. Yeah, and he sells the Battle Fury. Or, no, actually puts it in his backpack. I assume when he has enough to sell it and then purchase the full Ags, he will do so.
Yeah, I would think so.
Unless he actually wants a backpack item for when he BKBs.
Yeah.
Udah mulai ada smoke.
The Battle
King
Fury
ke
feels like it's
atas.
a bit meh in that department.
Exactly. It's like, are you keeping
Gonna
this
do
to
that
just
for refresher or something.
push out waves and for farm efficiency, maybe? When you're not looking for a fight, do you swap it in to farm faster? I don't know. Oh, Miero, not the perfect target, though. He's
Not
really hard to go on.
Awan di
You
hex,
say
di
that,
all
he's
in.
getting shredded, completely
Oh,
destroyed.
di all in
Cinderin
mix.
curses him again.
They can kill him in time before he gets Wind Waker BKB off. All right, 4,000 health and
Rosan yang
40 armor.
ketiga
Hey,
udah mau
Roche is up as
muncul.
well, so Vision have a great opportunity.
Oh,
They-
udah muncul tuh.
Of course, the
Just
problem
spawn.
is you don't know he doesn't have buyback, and he can come
Yeah.
into the fight at any point with that Ags.
But I think maybe you take the chance of forcing it
Udah
and
siap
then
nelan
trying to
muncul
get out.
juga ya.
Because you
Gotta
didn't
go
use
fast.
you didn't use
Kenceng banget,
anything.
Cok.
You have 3 BKBs on all of your cores, and your supports can just be in a position where they don't get caught by the pit. And yeah, they're just daring Boom boys
Kenceng
too.
banget, coy.
testing them, and yep, they do indeed not have it. So that is going to be Aegis and Refresher. Cheese all the goodies.
All right, I'd be a little bit surprised if Satanic doesn't actually sell the Battle Fury right now and just get the Ags.
Ya kan,
Been
tapi ini
obsessed with this all
susah.
game, Cinderin.
Yep.
I need to see it. He has the backpack BKB because of the Aegis. Battle Fury's still there, though. They get the tier 2 in the mid lane.
And one team not that great at sieging, the other does not have that problem.
That is correct. Oh, actually jumps in, but instant Hex. Very nicely done. Satanic has to use Blade Fury along with the Healing Ward. They kill off the Healing Ward. No vision for Kiritich to use the Reaper's Sight.
Give him a big Lotus, though.
Pipe-nya
And
sih.
GPK trying to do some damage to the creeps, but the Roche banner place, and that is a lot of creeps to deal with now.
That is a Rolling Thunder down.
Indeed, no one.
Oh, tried for the Petrify kick.
Takes it.
didn't
Masih
make it.
di-kiting.
Siege units will be the ones to survive. And now Underlord is back up. This has been the thorn in Vision's side. Is this Miero Underlord?
It's just a matter of time before no one gets a Petrify and kicks somebody out, though. He's waiting for the Euls or the Lotus to expire.
Oh,
They
bakal
Lotus him again.
ngambilin itu doang.
Kiritich has to be aware of this.
Gets kicked. There's the Pit of Malice is coming out. Satanic looking for the good target for his Omnislash. No one getting completely destroyed. Pops the BKB to try to survive. Death pulse upon him, though he dies as a result.
Ya elah.
Going to be the Aegis down and out, though. Buyback from no one as GBK trying to work on the back line. The Roche banner is still up, though. And Satanic trying to get to the other side. Gets rolled on again. The TP out from GBK is successful.
Yeah. Satanic held his Omnislash through all of that.
Yeah, you're right.
Chose not to spend it. Might have felt like he was going to get counterplayed too hard by the Wind Waker of Underlord.
Lama kan?
And yeah, sure, no one does get a kick, but he compromised his position
Baby ke 3
a
banding
lot
4.
and got turned on real fast. I'm really surprised they didn't get Lena Rax with that Aegis. That is a good sign for Boom Boys that they could hold that one off.
Satanic has 9,000 gold, Cinderin.
Yep.
And a Battle Fury is actually being used instead of the BKB now.
It's a farm as expected.
Kita bakal narik dulu, bakal farming lagi. Sampai level 30, full item.
Here for Kiritich.
Sambil nunggu Rosan, 5 menitan
About
lagi.
to hit level 25 now on Darkseer. I'm assuming we will see the AoE surge. But as you mentioned, how good is that even going to be against Underlords?
Save has a Shadow Blade.
Yep. Wants to get the surprise Hex.
That's nice.
His Blink Shadow Blade Caudle. That's not a common sight.
Blink, Hex, and Shadow Blade away. What if Shadow Blade only worked on your hero and not your horse?
That's just a random wild horse.
Nullifier juga, cok, Enchantress-nya.
Can't target the horse.
Are you surprised he's not going Ags on Caudle at all?
You know me and Ags in general. So
Yeah, well, I know you love every... Oh, well, that's not true, but you want people to buy Ags all the time.
Of course, it's a great item. Yeah,
it's
Will-O-Wisp is...
It's pretty bad, this game, but is it still...
4 melee.
Yeah, it's just that the heroes are not necessarily going to be in the right... How to say...
I mean, you have
Shadow
pits
Blade,
all over the place. I feel like it's very synergistic.
Maybe it's all right. It's just Jugger's not one of those like heroes that you love it against. Earth Spirit doesn't really care that much.
Every little bit helps.
Yeah, you'd think so. The Collis.
Man, he is so tanky. Pops the Lotus as
Gila,
well.
langsung full lagi kayak gitu, cok.
Trying to waste their time. The Fiend's Gate's going to be going down here pretty soon. They get the Reaper Scythe. Not even enough for the kill, but he does fall shortly after.
That's a gem. It was worth the work.
Now Wind Waker coming to be
Welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, guys.
As expected, he's going the distance here.
Jugger is one of those weird heroes where you
Juggernya agak nemi
where it
jadi.
feels like he's solved, and then all of a sudden the perfect moment arises late game, and he just wipes the floor with your team.
Well, he has Ags now, so he can do some damage safely. I don't remember what his shard does. Adds 2 hits to the healing ward and increases the HP. I mean, that's pretty freaking good. His healing ward's been targeted very quickly by
I think it only adds 1 hit, no? The hits to destroy goes to 2.
Oh.
So, I mean...
maybe not as good.
Oh, save.
Yeah.
Oh!
Fiend's Gate comes out instantly.
That
arrow, he's very quick, despite being so thick.
They might have been able to kill Satanic there if they had better communication. Miero started with the pit instead of starting with the Hex, and it was an instant Blade Fury from Satanic. Perhaps as the Hex goes first, they just
SB-nya
barely
dia cuma
make it through
ngebuka
the gate
doang,
and chain
cok.
something.
Terus dia datengin Underlord. Bully
I have to be worried about that now. He is queuing up Moonshard plus Nullifier, by the way, so it is on his mind to get a super late game Nully.
Yet another Tormentor for Boom Boys.
More money. 2K gold, why not?
Only person, oh actually 2 people without shards in the game. Satanic and no one.
Oh, refresher, that's a big item here.
Ultinya cepet
And
ya,
Mana
Underlord
is
ya.
not a concern whatsoever for Pango. 2K in the pool, and he has Caudle if that would ever matter. Don't think it will.
We won't know about Roche for 2 minutes, so I think it's safe to assume, unless it's a very quick respawn with both teams contesting it instantly, that we're going to see some tier 5s. Anything other than Deso on your mind here?
buat dorong lane sih enak banget ini Daxir,
I
Cok.
think if I mean, DAZN Bloodright for Underlord is nasty.
Oh, yeah,
That's probably the biggest one.
that actually might be bigger than Deso.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is really, really big. It gives 20% more AoE, so yeah, that one would be crazy. Forgot to mention, by the way, at some point, no one finally hit his 25. He's 27 now on Earth Spirit. That is probably the best 25 talent in the game overall.
Yeah.
Not in Dota entirely, but in this individual game, this is extremely strong. But they haven't got much value out of it because seemingly every single fight, no one gets isolated and killed, and then obviously you can't really leverage that you're magnetizing all the time if you're dead. So he has to
Damage-nya
find
di
a way
deny,
to
nggak
more
mau
reliably
diambil
stay alive.
sama
The Bloodstone is
musuh ya.
definitely going to be a big help in that regard. I wonder if Aeon Disc is a consideration now for him. There's a nullifier on Pango. That does make it a little bit more complicated. But if nothing else, the Aeon Disc allows you to get your BKB off if you do get hexed.
Satanic back up to 9,000 gold.
Yep. So he should be able to buy Moonshard and have buyback, no?
Would think.
No, he only has a surplus of 3k. It's an expensive buyback. Lincolns for Miero. I didn't even know this voice line was in the game. That's hilarious.
Rosannya masih 2 menit.
All right, Roche is a late spawn, 2 minutes away. So these tier 5s are definitely going to be a thing.
Yuk cepet yuk, level 30 dulu yuk.
Everybody getting their 6 slots now. We had a quicker game in game number 1, and it's going to even out this time around.
When's the last time you've seen a Necrophos backpack his Radiance?
For the boots of travel?
Just in general. It just looks so wrong.
Yeah, it is odd. He's going for the refresher as well.
Yeah.
I mean, surely at some point the Radiance does fall off even for Necro.
Itu
Yeah,
dia pop up BKB terus
it
langsung
just looks wrong. I don't
Radian.
disagree with it. It's just it's such a big part of why you play the hero in the first place. But we are getting to that point where he needs everything else. So
Late game Dota.
60 minutes. Let's find
60
some
minutes.
goodies. Something we
Yes,
haven't
late
mentioned all
game
that
ya,
much. We
late
focus
game.
as usual a lot on the cores
Kalau
going
late game
late game.
banget.
There's some support potential here for Enchantress can become a monster.
Yep.
Haven't really seen Ducalis truly get there yet. She has been on the receiving end quite a bit.
I mean, it also feels like a lot of their
Pike and
fights,
Sangat
Nightfire.
hati-hati
they're
banget
trying
ya
to run
mainnya ya.
away from the pits. And they're just scattered.
Yeah.
Like, almost every fight has felt that way this game for Vision.
But he
Lihat
actually
gini
could become
susah
a bit of
guys.
a wild card
Kalau
against
nggak hati-hati
Underlord
dikit,
because of all the
keculik
pure damage.
mati,
This gives them a
blundernya
different
parah
avenue
guys.
for dealing with that pretty big issue.
Hey,
that
there's
they
that Rift Shadow
Mahal
Prism.
banget soalnya.
Right, save made an illusion item? Okay.
Why?
To bait, I guess.
There was nothing better?
I didn't see his options, but I'm assuming he wants to use it to bait with, to try to...
All right, well,
Or
Deso,
he can
Satanic.
also use it to tank Omnislash with.
Yeah, that's true. 1 slash.
It probably survives 1 or 2 hits, and then if you move it well as you
Okay.
create it, maybe you can...
I mean, that's not...
Udah mulai
misdirect
smoke
the
lagi.
Omnislash,
Siap-siap
that's pretty
fight
good. He
buat
got
Rosan
Deso, by the way,
yang
the dream.
keempat.
He has the perfect item. The Desolator with
Miro,
Audacious.
I don't think he got DAZN Blood right, though. We won't get to see those big, juicy boys. See if they collide here with the smoke from Boom Boys.
He could take Witchbane, though, which is actually quite good this game. He ends up going for the Fallen Sky, but being able to dispel, track, magnetize...
What's delivering?
etc.
The
For who?
missing slot on
Oh,
Underlord.
terus yang ngambil
He gets brown boots.
Wait, what?
He had an empty slot. I was wondering what the heck was being delivered. Just
Well, what
brown
did he do
boots.
to his other boot?
I don't know. I have no clue what happened. He consumed his axe and had an empty slot.
So at some point he sold his boots to afford Axe at a timer? Oh, no, not Axe.
I don't know.
pada ngambil Fallen Sky.
All right, now the smoke from Vision. Roche is up, and it's a big one. It's the juicy one. lot of juice in that Roche.
Well, the cores are running out of slots to have Aegis in.
Kiritich gonna run into several heroes, gets gone onto right off the bat. The Omni Slash deletes him from the map. Has the buyback. They kill off the Undying as well. Has an 8 proc set, and they kill off the Tombstone as well. As GPK focusing on the tankiest target imaginable in Ducalis. Gonna try to force this buyback onto the Kiritich Necrophos. That was super quick from Vision.
Berarti artinya
That's the
Boom
perfect
Boys bakal
showcase of what I was
merelakan
talking about
Frozen
with
yang
late game
keempat.
Juggernaut. You just can't count it out. But ironically, he
Sakit
wasn't the one doing most of
banget,
the damage. It was
dibilang.
actually Earth Spirit doing most damage in that team fight. I suppose it was also the trailing off of the
Frozennya dapat
magnetize
item
in
apa
the
aja
end
tuh, ada
onto the other
cheese
heroes, so maybe
refresher.
not a fair comparison.
There's a
but
lot of stuff in the pit there.
it's crazy how fast people can die to a level 30 Jug. Okay, he'll take the refresher and leave the rest. I actually forgot, you can still sell cheese, no? Or can you not do that anymore?
Oh, that's a good question. It used to, what was it, like 250?
I think it's sold for 500.
Was it 500?
2-0 kayaknya ini guys.
No.
Maybe you can't sell it anymore. I don't know. I'm not saying they should, but
They got 2 cheeses.
Lihat, Daxire juga
And now
tebal
the
banget jadi.
Aegis for the Juggernaut. Satanic. The Blade Fury, enough to kill off the range barracks. We'll play it very safe, though.
here comes Ducalis. With his Desolator, he can actually push.
Oh, yeah. That is
He
nice.
does a really good job at it. And he's very
Enchant
hard
juga
for
udah
them to
nyampe
go on
jadi
and very low
hitter
value
jatuhnya.
if they were to kill him compared to the Jug.
That's pretty cool that he takes the Deso. That pit's going to miss. They don't get the barracks, though, and they've bought enough time for Kiritich to come back.
That's a Rolling Thunder down. Now they
That
got the
refresher,
barracks.
Satanic, okay, finishes the job.
Kayak udah mega satu
They get
lane.
away. So 1 set for Vision.
Last
Plenty
word
of
nih,
time now
last
with
word
the
nih,
Aegis.
They
penentu
might just
nih.
let Ducalis siege another lane now.
Yeah, this is... I don't know. I don't think I've seen this before.
Because even if
They've
they...
had such trouble killing him.
Yeah, if they hard commit on him, they could just blink petrify him and kick him out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or they could even just try to pull him with a grip. Maybe that's enough.
Gala's going to show himself. There's the roll in, the kick. Not there yet because of the Lotus. Ends up using the Wind Waker to try to survive. The Magnetize doing a lot of work. The Tombstone going to save the teammate for the time being. The Reaper side comes out. Not enough for the kill
Heal
outright. Big
Enchantress-nya.
decay coming out is noticed in that BKB. Looking for a target, but the Satanic is working on the buildings. No one. Will roll away to safety. That's a lot of circles on your map. And Ducalis will eat the cheese to survive. Getting surged away now. So they get the tower.
That's refresher used from no one. They want to commit here. That was the refresher shard. So he has another magnetize.
And there's the Blade Fury. My goodness, these buildings get destroyed so fast from Satanic. A single Blade Fury is there. Can he get a kill? He's going to get reflected. The Omni Slash with that Lotus
kena
Orb.
Lotusnya
Going to
tuh ultinya.
completely nullify it. And now the
Worth
Juggernaut
banget,
is stuck in
anjing.
a horrific spot. Although the Undying is the one taking the brunt of the damage. Gets the Suicide. That's going to be enough for the kill. Satanic trying to finish it off on the Undying. Running into the tree line. The arrow is there as well. The save at the last moment. The grab ally. But that's just the Aegis now. Coming back is the Juggernaut. Kiritich in the midst of all of this. They get the bash. Not enough for the kill though. Satanic able to Blade Fury away. The buildings are falling. The tier 2 still up in this bot lane as Enchantress
Oh,
caught off
ternyata nggak
guard.
aganin guys.
Finally going to be enough damage for Boom Boys to kill a
Yang
singular
buat ngumpulin
hero.
orang nih loh.
And Miara on the cover of the tier 2. This Magnetize is doing so
GG
much
sih.
work right now. Satanic in the cover of his BKB, attempting to get out of dodge. Uses the Blade Fury. Vacuum wall just to try to buy some time. Satanic slow to a crawl right now thanks to that Ghost Shroud. Getting onto the outskirts. Can he get away? Yes, the Blink Dagger is successful. Gets an Illusion Rune for his good work as well.
Udah nggak ada yang bisa diurus.
66 minutes in.
Cuma
Didn't
bisa
realize that
kenipen aja
tier
guys.
2 was
jatuhnya,
still
guys.
up. As GPK gets hexed. Reflect won't matter because of the BKB. The damage coming out now
Terus
from
kayak Fallen
Ducalis.
tuh
The back in the last
itu.
moment. The Reaper Scythe is there to delete Notice, though. No buyback for
Mati
him. But
lagi, itu
Kiritich
GG.
is the one to go down to the right clicks of Satanic. He still maintains his buyback, though. So 2 members of Boom Boys are able to come back in this game if they choose to do so.
And
But again, this tier 2, they still have to take out from Vision.
Enchantress ya
Two
ganggu banget.
refreshers just got purchased, so now Jugger and Necrophos with additional abilities. It's gonna be so. This is when it gets to that point in Dota where it's impossible for the teams to keep track of everything, and a lot of the time, what ends up winning games is just getting an instant burst jump and killing somebody and taking something out of play. They've got to say in that regard, advantage vision right now.
Yeah.
And they will be forcing
Look at this damage, man. My God. Being able to do that while BKB'd essentially is crazy.
So that's GPK forced out for the buyback. The Manta almost taking care of the ranged barracks.
They can just do this on repeat. Ducalis gonna get the Deso stack.
Enchantress-nya aja anjir yang ini.
Rolling Thunder applied to him. He is super healthy right now.
Yang
The
hitin
pits come out
turret.
from the air to try to control this. 30 seconds on the Necrophos. He's gonna have the buyback here pretty soon as the Omni Slash again being nullified to a high degree. They can just take out these buildings with the Blade Fury. Finally, Fortification comes out. Still no buyback on the Necrophos. 20 seconds. Finally, we'll use it. The Rolling Thunder, though, comes out from GPK. They kick out Satanic. He does have the Switch Slash, losing the mana, though, now nullified. Looking for the kill is Kiritish. Getting to the other side. The Manta Side's going to keep it alive. Miro trying to apply some more pressure. They get the kill onto the Bounty Hunter.
Jaggernya
It's not
masih
nearly enough
selamat.
to turn this. And the buyback coming out now from the Bounty. Reaper Scythe doing absolutely nothing. It's double, in fact, will be enough to get the kill.
Gila di double kayak gitu
The
anjir.
front is completely exposed. Didn't even
GG
realize.
ya
All right.
2-0 guys.
My goodness, Satanic
Lol.
with that blade. How much damage did he do to buildings while Blade Fury this game? That is ridiculous.
Lol.
Toss on all sides, and eventually they have to give in. What an insane game from Vision. You can see they're feeling themselves. That was a hard-fought win, but they got there.
Predicted ya 2-0 kan.
It
Gak ada
was
hiternya,
crazy to
susah
see
buat late game.
Vision be able to win this game in the way they did, considering I thought this was going to go just that little bit longer, if you can believe it, for what we'd already gotten to witness there. Boomboys having a much better draft, a much better game for themselves, but at the end of the day, you just cannot deal with whatever Satanic is able to do for his team here. It feels like whatever hero he picks Gunner, whatever void they need filling, he is there and ready to do that.
Yeah, and I do. We're going to have a lot of Satanic praise. Monkeys can do that. But I want to give praise to the Earth Spirit.
Terlalu late
Noah
game.
played a fantastic game, especially
Lawan
in the
Jagger
late
late game
game. You
tuh
kind of
susah
see how
banget
much impact this hero has. He got scythed twice in the fight. He got refreshed, scythed again, barely kills him, but just I think this is a hero to look out for. It's getting banned on the first phase, and I think that how they're using just the drafts to enable Satanic, yeah, he can play a lot of heroes. Yeah, he's really good at the game, but it's also how do they make him look good. Yeah. Making a player look good is a full 5-man organization, 6 if you count the coach, and I do think that it's something to look towards for even teams wanting to be successful. Look at them, and if you want to beat them, you have to look at them a bit more.
Mending underlord
Yeah,
jadi
and
hitter.
I also want to just highlight Ducalis this game.
Soalnya kalau early,
the amount of times
Jagger
that
lawan
Ducalis or
itu
Ench
masih
specifically?
well, a little bit of A, a little bit of B, but the amount of times that Boomboys
ditemenin
were
Undying
bringing
aja
3, 4,
offlane.
sometimes even 5
Ditukar
heroes, and
lane-nya.
they're just,
Si
they're
Undying-nya
just
jadi hitter.
slowly sitting
Si
there trying to
Underlord
take
jadi
this
hitter.
pause 5 Ench down, and he's living for like 30-some seconds or something. It's such an absurd late game hero, especially
kalau
paired with Bounty
si
Hunter.
Jaggernya beser
Bounty
sih di ulti
influxes
semua,
that gold
diem anjing.
into supports a lot more, and you get a lot more, or like you have a lot more people you can rely on than just Satanic. I mean,
KOTL-nya
don't
juga
get me
nggak
wrong,
post-up lagi.
I've praised Satanic enough,
Harusnya
as
butuh
Gunnar
post-up
said,
agaknya
but
itu KOTL.
I think this game was much more of a team effort.
Oh, absolutely.
And, I think everyone kind of filled their roles.
I think 9 class had a great performance as well. It's coming down to this Bounty Hunter, what the hero can do. Like, we haven't really seen this hero being popular in the tournaments prior to TI. Like, we've seen him here and there, but nothing too crazy. And we've seen it in this game multiple times. Before
setengah
Necro got
mati,
Radiance,
kan
he got
ngehilangkan
killed off
banget.
3 times. He has the hero
Gak
that
ada
he
yang
can play
earn.
with this Darkseer. Earth Spirit also joined a couple of times, allowing Juggernaut to be on top of the network like we see him every single time. I believe that this time around, he did not have that godlike streak the first time so far in the tournament.
Well, then we shouldn't sing his praises.
Yeah, not
Only 7-1.
Only 7 kills.
7
He didn't even
kills.
get that 10 kill mark.
That's just unacceptable.
Disappointing. Disappointing.
Fair play, Satanic.
Below average, I would say, but The Bounty Hunter, though, is definitely something. When you look at this goal line
kalau
and the
TL-nya
net
jauh
worth, you're
sih.
probably having that question mark
Backline
of what
banget.
impact did it really bring? And I am having that a little bit, because what is it about a Bounty Hunter, not necessarily just in this game,
Undying-nya juga nggak
or in this
tebel-tebel banget
lineup,
soalnya.
but as a hero that is offering something Vision sees that not other teams aren't catching on to the same way.
Vision?
Yeah.
From the track.
Yeah, I think they have a clear vision what this hero can do in the draft.
Yeah, that's all you have to offer.
They
Yeah,
can
thanks for
they-
that one,
they can
Gunner.
track-
I'll
they
play
can
on
track
words.
down what they need from the hero when it's picked.
Please.
Okay.
Please, monkey, save me.
I mean, I do think again, Bounty Hunter. He puts a lot of gold into Ducalis. You can see Ducalis is the higher net worth sub here at 20,000 net worth over the 9-class Pos 4 Bounty Hunter. I think he also he goes invis himself. He buys the shard. He makes other heroes invis. So it's kind of like a pseudo Mirana where like you can run around the map invis and just
Oke
kind
ya,
of like
kita lanjut
have
nonton.
that
Oke
surprise
guys.
factor. There's always that
Thank you
fear
so
of
much.
two
Jangan lupa di
heroes being
subscribe.
invisible
Don't forget
if
to
you're Boom
subscribe
Boys.
guys. Thank you.
And I think
But why is it still better than instead of just picking a Mirana? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. If you're like, oh, it's this pseudo, it does almost what another hero does, but slightly worse because it's not the whole
He's
thing.
more annoying early on.
Okay.
Like we've seen him, like even some of the drafts yesterday, where Bounty Hunter he looked good.
kita lihat
He did lose that
healing-nya
game,
dulu,
but
guys.
knowing that you're playing the losing matchup, there was this hero mid who couldn't really play the game, so he went into the jungle. Alchemist was also jungling, and then he can track